Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Ramblin' Rich with my special guest, my mom.
Yep, hi. Hi. I am going to talk today about how Richard was born, when he was born, and how everything started. Okay. When I married Griffith back in 63, did I marry your dad in 63? Yeah. And right after I had a miscarriage, Richard came along about a month later. And I figured, since I had the first miscarriage, the doctor told me, don't get pregnant, don't do this, don't do that, because you lose the baby. I said, okay. So, between the four of us, Dick and our friend Joe and his wife Jeannie, me, we would go to the carnival. We went hunting. We went stealing oranges. We did things we were not supposed to do because I was pregnant. Then as I started getting bigger and bigger, I knew then there was no way we were going to lose the baby. So Joe and Jeannie separated. Dick had to go on maneuvers. And that meant that we had to give up our one-bedroom apartment in Santa Ana, California, because that's where we lived. We lived in the front apartment. Jeannie and Joe lived in the back apartment, and there was just like a hallway between it. You just go out the back door, down the hallway, turn the corner, and there was Jeannie and Joe's apartment. But we were really good friends. Anyway, Joe and Jean separated for a little while. Dick went on maneuvers and didn't want to leave me alone. So what will we do? I moved in with Joe. He was such a good man. Oh, that man was good. I couldn't figure out why Jeannie kept leaving him and everything. Anyway, he met this woman while I was staying with him. And man, could that man cook. He was French. Did you know Joe Gauthier was French?
Oh, yeah, Gauthier is a French name.
And he would cook meals. I ate, man. I put on so much weight. You should have seen how fat I was. But he was so good to me. Anyway, he met this redheaded gal. I'm sorry I cannot remember her name. And Jeannie found out. That's his wife. And she decided to come back home. I told him I wouldn't let her come back. And I would not have let her come back. You left, be gone. You found somebody, and she was such a nice lady. Oh, she was so nice. They treated me like a baby, You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Well, I got into my 7th month, 8th, almost in the 8th month. When Dick went on maneuvers, and when he came back, it was getting close, and I didn't want to have the baby in Santa Ana, and Dick was going to be gone anyway. So what happens? Him and Joe we pack my things up. Him and Joe take me down to the bus stop, put me on the bus to Concord, California. Anyway, the bus driver gets me there, and my mom and dad are there, and I stay with my mom and dad. When I'm about to have Richard, my mom goes to the hospital. All the time telling me, I remember telling me, I'm not going to go to the hospital with you, Norma Jean said, don't you expect me there. She did. She was the only one there at the hospital with me. 2 sisters, and none of them showed up. So anyway, had Richard, and he was a fat baby. Richard weighed 7 pounds, 11 ounces. Richard?
I don't know. I can't remember, Mom.
Can't remember? Oh, Richard. Anyway, I think one of the boys weighed 7 pounds and 11 ounces. Used to call them 7-11 in my mind, never to their faces. They were babies. But he was so fat. When he was I would send pictures over to Dick's family in Lemoore. And finally one day Dad Griffith calls me, and he tells me, I think it's time that we met you in person. We want you to come down and see us and bring that baby with you. And I says, well, I can't do it right now. And he says, yes, you can. Get a plane ticket, a train ticket, whatever you want. He says the train would be better because they'll let you off right in Lemoore. Okay. So
does it do that anymore? You can't get a train ticket to Lamar, can you?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just curious.
but it took me right to Lamar. And I remember being on the train with Richard. Uh, I had carried him on my arms or put him in the seat. Nobody hardly on the train. And the conductor, he was a black man, very, very nice man. And he comes up to me and he says, "Do you want to go eat? I'll hold the baby. I'll take care of the baby." Well, you know what? Dummy me, I gave Richard to him, just boom like that. You know, never thinking. What if he would have ran off with him? What if,
On a train.
on the train? Yeah, and I used to go to the bathroom because Richard had these sleepers on him that zipped up or snapped up. They're one pieces. I don't know what you call them now. And if he messed with them, I went to the bathroom, washed them out of the sink, put them to dry on these pipes they had in the bathroom, and left them there to dry overnight while I was going down. And nobody touched anything. Anyway, the conductor watched Richard while I went and ate. I got to Lamar, and Dad was there to meet me. Dad Griffith was there to meet me. And we talked on the way down, asking how the train trip and everything is. And all the family was there at Mom's house. Well, the family was always at Mom's house. Ray and Bill, Nellie and Bernie. I don't remember, Marjorie and Lloyd were there. I don't remember. But there was all the kids. All the kids were always at Mom's house. So our dad didn't have no grass in his yard. Everybody played on the yard, or no grass. So anyway, I took care of Richard, him and Tommy. Tommy was 3 years old when I had you, Richard. You had 3 years between you and Tom, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he and Tommy were buddies right from the start, even when Richard started to walk. And he started to walk kind of early and talk because he couldn't get any boards in. There were so many kids around all the time.
Well, how old was I whenever we arrived in Lamar the first time?
When we arrived in Lamar by the train, Richard was 3 months old.
3 months. Okay.
You were only 3 months old, but you were a fat baby. You looked bigger than 3 months. Your little legs were like fat legs. And I think, I don't know why I remember when I walked into the Mom's house, the first thing Nellie did is she looked at Richard and she goes, "Oh, he looks just like Dickie." Who the hell was Dickie? Oh, I knew who he was. And it made me mad. And in my mind, I didn't say anything to Nellie because I didn't want. But in my mind, I thought, well, who in the hell was he supposed to look like? I don't know. But, he was a good baby. Carol Ann, oh man, that girl, every time she came to Mom's on the weekend, I didn't have to worry about Dick. They called him Baby Dick. She would pick him up, take him to Mom's bedroom. Do you remember Mom's bedroom was towards the middle of the house, and then you go around the corner and there was Tommy's room? I don't know if you remember that, but they took old Tommy's room and put me in there, Dickie and I. You were in the bassinet as you went in. The room was little, like from that bill to here.
Uh-huh.
That's how big the room was. And there was your bassinet right as you walk in the room. And Caroline would head for that bassinet if she didn't see you, get you, take you in Mom's room, put you in the corner of the bedroom, put pillows around you, and sit there and sing to you. You just loved it. Caroline couldn't sing with a damn, but she sang to him, and it was so funny. We would sit in the kitchen and just laugh and laugh, because there she was just entertaining you, she just entertained you. You were her entertainment when she come over to Mom's house to get her hair curled. I don't know why Nellie didn't curl her hair. My mom had to curl her hair. I never could figure that out. But the girls would all, even when George's kids would come over, Mom had to curl their hair. What was wrong with the moms that they didn't know how to curl their daughter's hair? Couldn't figure that one out. Of course, Caroline was different because Mom didn't give her curlers. Mom had her hair in funny rollers like this, spiral curls. This was Caroline, because Caroline had real curly, wrinkly, curly hair. That was Caroline. I love Caroline. I still call her today when I see her on Facebook. I call her Caroline. You know. But anyway, she would entertain Richard. Then as we got older and we moved back to California when Dick got home, Richard was calling Grandpa Griffith Daddy because Tommy called him Dad. Everybody, you know, and he was around Tommy most. Tommy played with Richard a lot too. In the living room, we'd put him in Grandpa's big leather chair, put him in the corner. Tommy would sit there and just make faces at him, and Richard would laugh. You know, a lot of people didn't know how much Tommy played with Richard, entertained him. And then when he got older and started walking, when he started walking, Tommy was mean to him. Tommy would throw things on the floor so that he'd have to pick them up. Little cars, a comb, whatever he had in his hand, he'd drop on the floor. Richard would run over and pick it up. Go, here, Tommy. I don't know when he started calling you uncle. I guess when you started talking a lot better, he called you uncle. He started calling him Uncle Tom. Because I think at the time, I don't really think Tommy considered you his nephew now. I think he just thought of you as Baby Dick. You know, Baby Dickie's who you were to everybody. When they'd come over, they referred to you, where's Baby Dick? You know, it took Shannon. How old were you when Shannon and his sister, we call you Richard? It was in Lamar. Because he got tired of them calling you Big Little Dick. And he says, his name's not Little Dick, his name is Richard. You call him Richard. I remember Shannon doing that.
Nowadays, it doesn't bother me anymore. It's not a big deal.
But it bothered Shannon. It did. He said, Mom, they're going to have to start calling him Richard, all of us. So we started calling him Richard, you know. I don't know if your dad liked it or not, but because that was his namesake. Well, Richard's his namesake. No, I don't think I ever called your dad Richard. You know what? I don't think I ever did. Nobody did.
Well, when he introduced himself to you, what did he introduce himself as?
Dick. As Dick Griffith.
Okay.
Not Richard. You know. Never called, as I said, I never called him Richard, you know. He just wasn't Richard. He was just Dick. That was it. And then when we went to Lamar and they called him Dickie, I thought it was kind of funny, but I never said anything. I just let him, it was up to him. He didn't want them calling him that, as old as he was. That was his business, you know. But, you know, sometimes I sit and think, Richard, I wish we still lived in Lamar sometimes. Does that make funny?
Oh, just a simple life and the
Yeah,
way it is.
and knowing everybody. You know, knowing that Sandy lives there, and the little Homer girl people live there. Lee Williams. You know, I talked to him on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his wife, Molly, Almelda died. I didn't even know she passed away. But he told me she passed away. And he's got the girls there taking care of him. What's her name? Belinda.
And Vindy.
And Vindy are taking care of him.
Yeah.
They got kids.
Belinda and Donna and Patty, all of them.
Yeah, they're all there. And he still lives in that
Not
same
Patty,
house.
Patty passed.
Yeah. Do you remember? Yeah, Patty passed. Do you remember that house in Lamar? That big house he lived on? I think you were too small. Lee Williams.
Yeah, the Williams. Yeah, oh yeah.
That's where he still lives.
Yeah, I kind of figured so.
Yeah, never moved. Lives in the same house.
In Lamar and Delhart. Because they moved from Lamar to Delhart, remember, in the
yeah,
late
no,
70s?
I think it was in Lamar. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you know why? Because Molly and I, his wife Imelda, we called her Molly, and it was Ray and I and her, and there was another one. We would walk from Lisa and William's house to this church or something to go help them do something. Why we didn't drive, I don't know. I guess none of us had a car, you know. I don't know. I think your dad was in the service then still. You know, you were still a baby. And we would go walk to this church and we would just go do things, you know, make things, help them make things.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom took care of the kids. Poor Mom, she was always stuck with the kids. Sometimes I wonder if she ever got tired of taking care of all those grandkids. Or all of us being over at her house for dinner. You were too little to remember, Mom. Ray, especially Ray. Ray was always there, always. Ray didn't know how to go home. And if she had to go home and make a meal for poor Bill, she got mad. Now I have to go home and feed Bill. Or he came over to Mom's house, fixed him something to eat. I like Bill. Bill was really my favorite of all the brother-in-laws.
Yeah, I like Uncle Bill too.
Yeah. And Bernie. Lloyd I didn't know too well, but I understand he treated. You know that Charlie, Tinker's son, Charlie, is taking care of
Marjorie?
Marjorie, yeah. I didn't know that. I asked him, and he said, yeah, he was.
Good.
Guess when I see pictures of him doing something for his grandma, I didn't know who his grandma was until one time he said something, and I thought, I said on Facebook, are you taking care of Marjorie? And he said, yes, that he was. Because, Tinker passed away.
Yeah.
And then Lloyd passed away. Hey, there's a picture of a young Lloyd Sims on there. Have you seen it? A young
I'm not
boy.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think he has to be a Sims. Because he looks like a Sims. He looks like the boys. Mikey and all them, Jimmy,
Right.
yeah, and all them. He looks like them. His name is Jason, I think, Sims. Yeah, he's on my Facebook thing. I look at them all. But anyway, Richard had a pretty good life. I'm surprised Richard walked as soon as he walked. Well, he about had to. All the kids around, he just carried him. Everybody come take him, pick him up, carry him here, carry him there, carry him outside, put him on the swings, do this, do that. When he started walking, man, we had to really watch him because he'd walk all over. And Mom had this pen with the dogs in it. I don't know how many of you all remember that pen for the Chihuahuas. Richard would go out there, Mom would tell him, Grandma would tell him, don't go in there, Richard, you're going to get bit. Because one of the puppy dogs had puppies. And when they have puppies, they don't let you touch them right away, Oh no, Richard had to get in there, go see the puppies, open the gate, turn around, put his hand through, lock it back up. It was a mess. You were about a year old, a little over a year when you started doing that. And then when you got older, you just went in there, went all over. I remembered when Randy rode you on his bicycle. Even the Griffith little boys, Kathy and them, Kathy and Colini, that was her name. There was 2 girls, 2 boys. Kathy, Colini, Randy I think was the oldest, I'm not sure, and then David was the youngest. But you've always been picked up, put on something, always. Like I say, I don't know how it is you walked before you were even a year old. You were walking all over. Well, you might have to sometimes. Sometimes they didn't pick you up and you had to be with them, so you had to be there to walk, and talk. I remember you talk. We used to take Richard into restaurants a little after he turned a year and got out of the service. And we were going home, we stopped at a restaurant. And Richard would sit there in one of those chairs, those kids' chairs, and just sit there and just talk and talk and talk and talk. And people would come by and ask, oh, how old is he? And we would tell them how old he was. It wasn't even a year and a half yet. And they said, and he talks like that? I said he had to. He wanted to get his conversation or words in with Grandma. He had to talk to get things in, But, I remember things like that about Richard. Then when we moved back to California, he talked a lot. We moved into this apartment in South San Francisco in the back. That was Richard's first Christmas. You were 2 years old your first Christmas. Well, not your first, but there in California, your first Christmas. You were 2 years old. And we bought you a rocking horse. you know, and your dad put it together that night so you could have it. And it was just how funny how you remember things you were. Took him trick-or-treating. Dressed him as a cowboy. Boots, jeans, shirt. Only thing we had to add to his outfit was a hat. He always was dressed like a cowboy. That's how we dressed him. So when we went trick-or-treating, all we had to do was buy you a cowboy hat. And we took him trick-or-treating, you know. You had to go up the steps. You know, in South San Francisco, all the houses are built on a level. They're not. You had to go all by steps, and around the corner, go up all these steps. No matter what. Even when we lived in San Bruno, or in down San Bruno on the bottom part, and we lived in this house on 7th Street. It had steps in the front, steps going down to the backyard. You know, and I used to sit and think, my gosh, all we did, houses, all we always had was steps. The one in Colorado that we had down from Mom didn't have any steps. Didn't have any steps at that house. Do you remember that house there, down from Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. You and Shannon. Oh, how old Shannon was in grade school.
The one on 8th Street had steps.
Yeah.
That was a big house.
Yeah, that was a big house.
That was
It had
nice.
upstairs, yeah.
The laundry chute and the whole bit.
Yeah. Every time it was so funny. One time when my favorite house before we lived in Lamar was that one down from Mom's. It was on 7th, and your rooms were down in the basement. Do you remember that house? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That big house with your rooms down in the
Yep, I like that house too.
That was my favorite house at all. But I remember one time, the church ladies from the church from Mom asked if they can visit me from church, and I said, yeah, you know, it's okay, I don't care. So I cleaned house, I did this, I did that, and they came over, and you could see them going, looking at everything, you know. And I remember one of the ladies saying, because I had to go get them some water, because they didn't drink Coke or tea or anything. And you know me, I always had Coke or that in the house. So I would go get them a glass of ice water, because it was hot outside. That was the summertime in Lamar. And I heard her telling that one lady, boy, she got her house so clean compared to Granny's house. And I thought, well, I don't have a bunch of kids at my house like Granny has. You know, that's why and Granny's house was not a dirty. Her house was a mess.
It was cluttered.
It was cluttered. There was nothing, you know, Mom cleaned her house. After we cleaned it, it looked the same. But it was clean, you know. But Mom, like I used to tell Ray, now Ray's house. We won't talk about Ray's house. But I loved Ray. First time she invited me over to her house for dinner. Whoa! But that was okay. That was in Lamar. Richard was still a baby. We didn't take Richard with me then, because Mom took care of him. She invited me to go to her house to eat. And I said, okay, you know. But being raised in California, she wanted me to come for dinner. Well, to me, dinner, afternoon. To them, dinner was in evening time. To them, dinner was in the afternoon. Lunch. To them, dinner was lunch. We had, in California, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Colorado, they had breakfast and dinner and supper. They had supper. But she invited me for dinner. So I'm waiting around, you know, to go over there. Finally, Mom says, I thought you were supposed to go to Ray's to eat dinner. I says, yeah, but she didn't say what time. It was only about noon or 1 o'clock, and excuse me. And I told Mom, it's not time yet. She says, well, I think she's waiting. I says, well, okay. So I went over to Ray's. I don't even remember how I got there. I think she came and got me because I was so late. She came and got me because we didn't have a car yet, you know. And went over, oh man, she had chicken and French dressing with mashed potatoes.
That's where you learned that from? Is from Ray?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We had chicken and French dressing, all covered, and then the mashed potatoes on the side. And I looked at it and I thought, okay. But I ate it. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. Man, oh man, that was so good.
It is really good.
It's really, and it has, but you have to eat it hot. That's what Ray said. You only fix it when that you sit down and we give it to you and you eat it. You can't let it sit, but then everything gets cold, and it's not good. So that's what we ate, and it was so good. Now she showed me how to make it. So I used to make it for the kids, and then I used to buy eggplant because I liked eggplant. They didn't, but I used to take it, peel it, slice it, long slices, about so big. Bread them, fry them, and tell the kids they were fish, and they ate it. And you did.
Yeah.
You thought it was fish.
We thought it was fish for years.
Yeah, your dad wouldn't eat it. But that's okay. But you know, Dick's mom was a good cook. She used to make, I don't know, you have to remember, she would make this macaroni in a tomato sauce. That was so good. I don't think you remember that. It was just macaroni and tomato sauce. That was it.
I remember making macaroni a lot too.
Yeah.
My favorite meal at Grandma's were her chicken and dumplings.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then she would also make me hamburgers every day for lunch whenever I lived up there with her for
Oh,
high school.
did you? Did she?
Yeah, every day for lunch she'd make me a hamburger.
Oh, why were you living up there? Oh, when we left you up there for vacation or
No,
something?
senior year of high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And she made you hamburgers for lunch?
Yep, every day.
And
for
Tommy
lunch.
too?
Tommy was on his mission.
Oh, Tommy was on a mission.
And she was by herself.
So you were living with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's what made me very angry when we found out that she needed something. She never said anything to us, you know. And another thing I remember was we could have sent Tommy some money while he was on his mission. Nobody ever said anything, you know, so that we could help him. Mom was doing it all. And the church was supposed to help her. That's why, you know, that's why Tommy didn't go back to church when he got back. Because when he got back, he found out that the church wasn't helping Mom at all. At all. And Mom was still paying her tithing, you know. And after that, Tommy didn't go to church anymore, you know. And it was because of the way they treated Mom when he was gone. Because they were supposed to help, you know, a little bit with groceries. And, you know, things like that to help out, you know.
And they probably did the first few weeks and whatnot, but
Then let it go. But the first few weeks after that, you know. Anyway, I know it made Tommy really angry when he got back to find out that they didn't help her at all. Was Dad alive then? Was Grandpa Griffith alive then when you lived there?
no.
No,
Grandpa
just you
Griffith-
and Grandma. He
Yeah,
was gone
Grandpa
already.
Griffith died in '77.
In 77? Gosh, Richard, that seems so long ago, huh? Michael died 2 years after that. I don't know. You know, I got a nephew by the name of Michael Martinez. If you looked at him, he was a nice looking kid. Everybody used to tell him that he looked like Elvis Presley, the way he combed his hair and everything. And, but he drank. He was a drinker. But he was a good person. You know, he got married to Martha. They had 3 girls, Richard? Was it 3 or 2 girls? Laura, Cindy. There's a 3rd one. But they didn't just have 2. Who was the 3rd one? Do you remember?
Laura and Cindy
Cindy,
are
yeah.
Michael's?
No. Manuel's. I'm sorry, I got them mixed up. No, Michael never married, did he?
No.
No, Michael didn't
Yeah,
marry.
his girlfriend Linda.
No, Linda belonged to Tony. Was Tony's girlfriend. They got married just before he died.
Oh.
So she could get his Social Security. And that was okay. Because she took care of him and, who else? Tony and, I want to say Bob. Al. Al. She took care of both of them. Took them and put them in her house and made sure they got fed and everything. And then Tony decided to marry her because he must have knew he was going to die. Just like Al knew he was going to die, you know. out. They found Al sick back behind a store where he was sleeping. Tony found him, I think. Tony said Al told him, "I'm not scared of dying." Tony said, "I'm not scared of dying," and he died that night. He died in Martinez. And then Tony died, I think, about a year or so later, not even quite that long. But you know what, Richard? Those homeless people, for Al and Tony, they had a very, very nice, what do you call that for him?
A memorial.
A memorial, yes. And there was a lot of people there. Surprised me, And your Aunt Teresa and your Aunt Linda were too good. They didn't want to sit with, you know what I'm saying? And they were doing this for our brothers. They didn't have to. And I got mad at Teresa because she was too good. Up in the air, she dressed real nice and this. And homeless people, they wear what they have. But I remember that they had those two memorials for my brothers, and boy, I can't believe that they took care of them the way they did. In fact, the lady who's head of the place where they slept, she told me, Al, she said, every night he begged me not to turn the TV off because Walker, Texas Ranger, was on, and he wanted to watch it all. So she said I would just sit there and watch the endings with him. He says, what was the big deal? I wasn't going anywhere but home. It was important to him that he wanted to see that movie end. And she did. She says whenever it came on, he was right there, and they watched it. She thought that was very nice people. She thought that was part of her job. And I understand that. And I told her I appreciated her doing that for Al. Because Al could get mean when he drank. You ask Emily, Bob's wife, she did not like Al. She wouldn't even. When I used to go there and he'd call me on the phone, for me to go pick him up or meet him somewhere so we could go get something to eat, she'd get mad because he'd call. And I told her, I'm sorry, he's my brother and he has no other way of contacting me except calling me on the phone. So I would go meet him, take him some money, not very much. Then we would stop and eat hamburgers, and there was always his other friend, I think his name was David. Could not stand that man. Could not stand him. I had a little granddaughter, Cherokee. I think Cherokee was about 2 years old. And I took her with me one time to Pittsburgh to go see Teresa and all, and we visited and everything. And we went to go find Al. We found him and his friend. And I had a pickup, Dick's pickup, little blue pickups I had taken. And we were sitting, and she was sitting in there. And he come up to her and he said, "Oh, who cute little girl and the whole thing, what's her name?" Introduced him. He said, "Come here, Cherokee, and give me a kiss." And you know how little 2-year-olds, that'd just be like you saying, "Katie, come and give me a hug or a kiss." And she would,
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what Cherokee was going to give her dinner. I said, no, he was so dirty. I told him, "No, you don't do that." I said, "Don't you do that to my granddaughter." And Tony says, Elsa told me he didn't like me. I says, I wasn't there for him to like me. I didn't even want him to come with us. And I didn't mind buying him a hamburger, I really didn't. But I was there to see my brother, not him. And I just didn't like him. But anyway, that was just kind of my time. But you were too old to go with me then. I think you were married then already to Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Our little Annie. We were talking about her the other day, Stephanie and I. And she's not married, I don't think, anymore.
Yeah, I think she got divorced from that dude she married.
Yeah, I think she was married, about 3 times?
Yeah, I think
About
she's
3 times, yeah. Now she's not married anymore, but I asked Stephanie if she called her. She says, "Why don't she just call me the other day?" I says, well, I hope when you call and you talk to her, you tell her I said hi. Because whatever happened between her and Richard is between her and Richard. I like her, and I still like her. You know, like I say, what happened between the two of you is between the two of you.
I have no hard feelings or anything. It was all her that didn't
I don't think she does
make
anymore.
contact or.
I think she's grown up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I'm actually friends with her sister Helen and Martha online.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I
And that's why I tell them I still consider them my sisters.
And Teresa? Do you hear from Teresa?
I don't hear from Teresa, but you know, whenever I'm looking at Martha's pages or Helen pages, they're there too. So.
Oh, you sure would tell them I said hi when you do that. I remember them. Martha, Laura. Didn't they have a Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Laura was the younger one.
Really pretty little girl.
Yeah.
She had two brothers, huh?
She has three brothers.
Three brothers?
Martin, Charles is the oldest.
Yeah.
Martin, she has like 4 or 5 brothers, Mom. Charles, Martin, Paul. Oh, shoot. I can't remember the youngest one's name. Yeah, it's been a while.
And some of them, a couple of the brothers passed away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the youngest brother, I think, passed away. He was electrocuted.
Is the dad still living?
No, the father passed away as well. I believe the mom's still alive.
Living in Amarillo, isn't she?
I'm not sure where she's living.
I know she's not back in, what was it, in Delhart?
Pampa.
Pampa. I don't think she's living there anymore. I wonder how many of the kids are left still living in Pampa. Stephanie doesn't even, I don't ask Stephanie, you know. I know, I'm surprised she does. Isn't she living in Las Vegas, Annie?
Last I heard, yes, but she may be living in Texas now. I'm not sure.
Maybe she went back home.
Yeah, I'm thinking she
be
probably
around
went
her
back home.
sister.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, be around family would be the best.
You know, talking about family, isn't it funny? Linda's the only sister I have left. You think we would be closer, huh? I mean, I don't know, maybe I like when she comes over and visits. I don't like talking to her on the phone, but I like when she comes over and visit with Ben. You know, they stay a whole 15 minutes. Takes them an hour to drive here. For 45 minutes?
Mom, you know, they probably have someplace else they're going. You're just a stop along that way.
I guess so, huh? I don't know, maybe, and then I think it's the same, I think it's the same with like Tammy. They can come over and visit. Little Benji can, well, little Benji, he doesn't know where I live, but Tammy knows where I live. She's been here a couple of times. Oh, excuse me. But, I just get a little upset to have one sister that doesn't come over and visit. Of course, she don't. Oh, that's another thing Tammy threw up at her. Cause Benji's got to take her here and Benji's got to take her there. She said, I don't know why you didn't learn how to drive. Teresa learned how to drive. Yes, but Teresa just drove around the Pittsburgh area. She didn't get out on the freeway. She went the back road when she went from Pittsburgh to Anaheim or wherever. She never got on the freeway. It's always the back road. And I could understand that. You know, but Tammy threw it up to Linda that she should have learned how to drive. Well,
A little late for that now.
yeah, we're too old, huh? I think about I should learn how to drive. I'd like to go get a job if I could stand up and not have to sit down. You know,
nowadays you just work from home on your computer.
I need to do that too. Yeah, I got a deal from, of all places, Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the heck Amazon is, but they send me a deal saying you like for you to work from home. They pay you $14 an hour to work. Come on in, baby.
Oh, baby.
Yes, baby.
Now you want egg? Okay, egg.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Thank you.
You want some egg, ma'am?
No, honey, I don't
But
think
I'm
so.
cooking.
No.
I'm cooking the pancit, the noodles.
Oh, no. I ate before I came over.
No, you wanna bring some? You go home. The pancit, the noodles.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'll
The
take some.
Filipino noodles, the one we always cook. The
Oh, okay. Is that what you're doing? Is you
Yeah.
cooking?
Okay.
Well, how do you rate? Hey, she makes the eggs look good, Richard.
You want some?
No, no. You see, I do my eggs like that, and I put them on a piece of toast.
Yeah, I can't eat the toast anymore.
Wow, yeah, the bread is so dry now.
Time to
Anyway,
eat.
sorry, it's his lunch time. And he's a growing boy, so he needs his lunch. Anyway, I was talking about my sister. My sister moved here from California 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago. When she moved here, 4 years ago.
She retired here.
Yeah, she retired from See's Candies. 40 years, 40 or 41 years. Her and her husband both put in See's Candies. That's why I'm diabetic. The candy she didn't bring us. I blamed her. She would bring me boxes of candy like this, 2 layers of my favorite, all the time. Her and Rosie and Alicia. They were the 3 girls that worked at See's. That's how Linda got in. They got her in there. And they'd bring me Rosie whenever she come over. She'd bring me candy. I just talked to her the other day, Rosie and Raymond. It was his birthday, July 31st. I called him and wished him happy birthday. And she says, "You remember Raymond's birthday?" I got them all down on my Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, deal, you know. Beep beep, birthdays. Raymond's birthday, July 31st, you know. So I called him. He was surprised. He's 80 years old, Richard.
Wow.
Yeah. 80. I think he's 80, 44. No, maybe not quite 80. Bob's wife is 80. Boy, Bob looks old in that picture compared to Emily. And Emily's about 5, 6 years older than Bob. And she's still going strong. She is still going strong. Hey, she makes her bacon like we do, doesn't she?
Yeah, can't eat it very hard because it hurts my mouth.
Yeah, you can't eat it crisp. Yeah, I don't like mine crisp anyway. Neither did your dad. That's how your dad liked his bacon, just the way you're eating it. But anyway, she moved here. First year she moved here, we were living in Phoenix in this retirement center for, when Dick got sick and had to have special whatever. She can come visit us maybe once or twice. Richard and Aurora came over maybe twice a month. Shannon and Tammy came over almost every day. And it's okay. And then when I moved here, after Dick passed away, Richard moved here. And I think Linda comes over maybe every 3 or 4 months. Now it's maybe every 6 months. So I don't see her. I talk to her, but I don't see her. But I don't want to just talk. I like to see her. I like to go places, like to take her out to lunch, go to the casino. We could go here and eat lunch. I like to go to this place called Cane's. Oh man, I like the chicken dills, nuggets or whatever they are. Yeah, that's Chris and May's fault. They took me there.
Me too. I like the cane sauce too.
Yeah, oh yes. And I pass it when I go to my doctor's once in a while. And I think, I could get off the bus and just take my chair and ride up to Cane's, sit there and eat it and go across to get on the bus and come home. But I don't do that. I went to Fry's instead, but bought some groceries I didn't need. Anyway, I don't see my sister at all. I don't see any of my nieces and nephews that live in California. My older sister that passed away at Teresa's, I don't see her kids at all. Two of them passed away. Roseanne passed away. Who else are Teresa's 4 kids? Not Tachiri, he's living up in Hawaii. Michael just passed away. So that leaves Maria and Tachiri, the 2 oldest ones. I was mad at Bob. I called up and told him I was mad at him. I told him, Bob, why? I said, because you're living out there, and it doesn't hurt for you to call me and tell me about Michael. I should not have had to read it on Facebook. And I got mad at him. I said, what kind of brother are you that you can't pick up a phone and call and say, hey sis, you know, our nephew Michael passed away up in Martinez and all. That's all you had to say. I wanted to send him a card. I couldn't even send him a card for, you know, I would have sent it to Teresa's daughter, Lola, call her Lola,
Christine.
Dolores.
Oh.
Because she's the one I kept in touch with. The oldest one I don't care for, so I don't keep in touch with her. But I'd like to have sent her a card, you know? But they're funny people, I guess. Yeah. Oh, you know who wants to come see you? Benji. He says, you think he'd mind? I said, Benji, if you come over my house, you should come right over and see you.
Yeah, I live right next door.
Yeah, that's what I told him. He says, okay. But he works for a place like this, and he's on 24-hour call. So he really can't go too many places, you know. And, I wonder if she's taking that near to the dumpster.
Come on.
Yeah. Don't need a mirror, do I?
No.
I was taking
You
it.
don't need trash, Mom.
No. Oh, I don't, Richard. I got rid of so much stuff. And you know what? I love my little bed that Linda gave me. I finally took the plastic off. And every time I moved, the bed would go from this to this to this or this way. And why was it moving? You know? I didn't think, maybe I moved a lot in my sleep. I don't know.
There's the plastic
Yeah,
on it.
and I would get up and look at my bed and it was crooked. I straighten it out, lay down, and go to bed. There it is again, the cricket. You know what? I finally cut the plastic off both mattresses, put my mattress cover and tucked it in, have removed 1 inch. And not that it's more comfortable, but I just don't have to straighten it out. Now I'm thinking about moving the bedroom around. Yeah.
You already moved it around once, Mom.
I know. What's her name? The manager, Jessica?
Mm-hmm.
She told me that if I can move all my stuff out of my bedroom, Francisco would put me new carpet in. I didn't say, well, I don't want you to do it. I don't know. But Stephanie said she'd get some friends and they would do it. She says, Grandma, we'll just take the drawers out of the dresser, put everything in the living room. Then he go, even if you have to stay in 1 or 2 days and sleep on the sofa, or we'll put the mattress on the floor so you can sleep on it, then he'd come in and put the, and she's right. She says she has 2 friends that would come and take everything out and then put everything out like that. So I may take her up on that, you know. I was going to ask Chris to come and help, but I hate bothering him.
Well, if not, Chris and I can help you out as well.
You know, because that dress is heavy. That's that dresser you gave me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a heavy son of a gun. You know, but I like it. I like that dresser. Oh, I saw one at the Goodwill that I really, really liked, and it was a whole $12, and it had stand up, not as tall as your thing there, that black thing.
Yeah.
Go down to the second shelf, maybe a little middle. That's how high it was, and had all these little drawers in it. $12. No, it was nice. No scratches and heavy. And I thought, gee, I wish I can get a hold of Chris, because I know he would use his pickup to take it, you know. But
Yeah, his truck's not running real well right now.
yeah, what's wrong with his pickup?
I'm not sure. We were gonna use it to go on our camping trip, but he says it's not good. It wouldn't make it.
He would.
He says it wouldn't make it if we used it on our camping trip. So
May have to just take your car, huh?
I have to take May's truck. I wanna go off road. I can't take the car.
Yeah.
If I take our car, I gotta park at a parking lot and then hike into camp. Told him I'm not really up for a hike. I'm not that strong.
Yeah. But where would you go for
Northern, up north where there's trees and it's a little cooler. Told him I don't want to hike. I mean, I don't mind camping in the desert and all, but
too hot now?
well, yeah, and I don't want to. I want to be where there's trees. I want to go.
I couldn't even go up to Sedona.
Oh, up in that area.
Beautiful, yeah.
Not quite. That's more high desert.
Yeah.
I want them more in the Tonopah forest trees.
Yeah. Chris likes that idea, huh?
Yeah.
And not me much to go. Well, she
Yeah.
wants to be with Chris, I guess. She'll drag Aurora along.
That's what I was thinking too. Let's drag her also.
Yeah. She might enjoy it. Yeah. I remember, do you remember when Linda would take all her kids camping?
Uh-huh.
They go everywhere with those kids. They tell her, you never did anything with us. You never took us anywhere we were. Man, I thought, she took those kids. Same now with Alexis. You know, she supported Alexis her whole life. In school, high school,
Right.
she bought all her dresses for
Her
the
lunches.
Oh yeah, and Benji would take her to school.
Yep.
So I went with him. We would take her to school. We stopped at McDonald's for breakfast. Then we'd go pick her up after school, and she would go to what you call it, and Benji would buy her dinner. And then she'd go home and eat dinner, you know, and did that all her life. And now that she's with Angel and has that baby, she has Linda to babysit. Oh, that baby's cute. Oh, she's so cute. I can't pronounce her name either. But she's a fat baby. Anyway, she has Linda to babysit because she got a job.
Mm-hmm.
Linda told her, no, as I told you, a long time ago, when you got married, when you got pregnant, I was not babysitting anymore. She said, I think she felt like telling her, I babysat you for 22 years. Supported you.
Yep.
For 22 years. You and your mom, you know. And she says, Tammy does everything for them. Buys the baby there. But she won't take care of that baby. Yeah, Richard. She does like me. She works on the computer from home. And Alexis thinks just because Tammy's home, she can babysit. That baby
It's
just
not.
wants to be held.
Yeah, you have to. Her attention is diverted.
Yeah. And you can't do that where she works. And so she told Alexis she couldn't do it. I guess Alexis was mad because she wants Linda to babysit, you know. Linda says, I wouldn't mind, honestly, she says, but I can't handle her. She says she's heavy. She says, I get so tired. And she wants to be held all the time.
Oh.
And Ben wants her to take care of the baby so he can play with her. But he says Ben doesn't take care of her, you know,
Right.
change her and things. And then he says, I have to do all that.
Yeah.
She says, and I can't do it. I try to tell him, I'm too old to be doing this. And I
That's
tell
true.
her, that's true, Linda. I'm too old to be doing that too. I don't want to babysit.
Right.
You know, I like Kylie comes over with her. I don't mind that because you're there, and you have to take care of her. You know, I don't know if I could handle her by myself.
Oh, I wouldn't expect you to handle it by yourself.
You know, because she's too active. Boom, we're into everything, and that's okay. There's nothing in my house that they cannot get into that they would break.
Right.
You know?
Well, I wouldn't have you watch her unless it was going to be like for maybe 10 minutes while I ran to do something and came
Yeah.
right back. I would, but I wouldn't ask you to watch
Oh,
for
yeah.
hours.
And now she kind of calls me grandma or granny. I'm not sure what it
Granny.
is. She calls me, but it makes me feel good, you know.
She calls you Granny because that's what she says. Can we go see Granny?
Well,
But she just wants to go up
up
the
the steps and
stairs.
down the steps. I know, that's okay. At least I miss Houston. At least she comes in and you bring her to see me. You know, that is one good thing. Like
Well,
that.
she asked for you, so I do it.
Yeah. She just wants to go over and be nosy. Up the steps, down the steps. She's like her granny. So who's out there? Who's out there?
Yeah, that may be part of it too, but it's all part of the walk and everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind that either, because that's one of the things I remember about great grandpa Guy Griffith, is when he would come over, we went on walks. You know,
Yeah.
he would take me for a walk around the blocks and stuff, and I remember him showing me plants and trees and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. That's my personal memories. Of
Did
Guy
you live
Griffith.
with Granny, when Granny Schofield lived with her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that lady. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. Isn't that funny when you think about it? Granny Schofield was your great grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy Griffith was your great
Great
grandpa.
grandpa. Yeah.
He was Dad's Griffith dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did he land up in Lamar over there? Because he wasn't from Lamar. I mean, from Colorado.
No, I think they ended up in Northern California. That's where the other Griffiths are.
Are they?
Yeah, Tommy. It was really weird. Tommy was surfing the internet and saw a picture of Guy, and this dude, his name is it's Ron, and Ron posted a picture of Guy Griffith and said, "This is me and my grandpa." You know, him and Guy Griffith. Me and my grandpa together. Back when we were when I was a little kid, and everything. And Tommy's like, because I remember Tommy calling me to the room and showing me this picture. He goes like, "Dude, does this look like Grandpa Guy to you?" And I'm like, yeah, from what I remember, And he pulled up pictures of Grandpa Guy, and he goes like, it's the same dude. I'm like, yeah. He goes, this dude is saying this is his grandpa. That's my grandpa. How do we have the same grandpa? And he was like, should I email him and ask him? And I'm like, dude, yeah, email him, ask him, send him the pictures that you have of you and Grandpa. I go like, that's my grandpa.
Yeah.
What we need, are we related somehow? Your grandpa, this is my grandpa. What's the story? What's the story? I'll tell you my half. You tell me yours half, and maybe it'll make sense in the middle. So it took maybe a year for all that to transpire, but yeah, it turned out. And the story was this. Grandpa Guy got remarried, moved to California, had a whole nother family that we didn't even know about. I mean, a wife, children, lots of children, grandkids, the whole branch over on that side were other Griffiths that are Griffiths from Guy Griffith's bloodline, but they're not from Grandpa H.H. Griffith's bloodline.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where the split takes place. And for my personal, Guy is just my bloodline, and we have that common branch for Ron and his side of the family. It's a common branch, and yes, you are my distant cousins, is what I would call you.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that we're close family.
Yeah.
I'm friends with them on Facebook, and I like their photos.
Griffith, yeah, I see
Haley Griffith and all the Ron Griffith and those guys are all the other.
They're cousins, but distant cousins.
They're not really cousins. They're just, it's Grandpa Guy's.
Well, Grandpa Guy is Tommy's grandpa.
Right.
That he's your great grandpa.
Right.
Yeah. And
so I don't know what those guys would really be to me, to be honest.
I would say they're just like
we have a common last name. That's about it. The bloodline, we share similar blood to a point, but after that point, we're not my my blood.
Do you remember? Because maybe you can remember better than I am. We all went to a reunion with a bunch of.
Up in like Seattle or something.
Up in Washington, yeah. Up in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when Tommy and
who
Grandpa.
Were they? Do you remember?
I think that was that.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking that because that's what I told Tommy too. I go, when you guys came out to California in '76, Grandpa and Tommy came out in '76. I go, we went to Washington with you.
Yeah.
And I remember we took a gigantic family photo, and I remember Tommy and I and Shannon are all on the grass.
Yeah.
Sitting in the front.
Yeah.
And we took a giant photo. I think that was the other Griffith side.
Yeah. I think so too.
I don't know where that photo is.
I got it somewhere, Richard. I know it's somewhere.
Well.
I've been going to, when I went to the second-hand store, I bought a photo album this big because I got all these pictures all over. So I bought it just to put the pictures in, you know. But I'm pretty sure I have that picture. I know it somewhere. I haven't gone through all the pictures, but Linda has pictures of Manuel that I would love to have. So
she'll just throw them away.
I know. So I could have you put them on Facebook, or send them to Cindy. Okay. She's the one who's really into all of this with her dad.
Why doesn't Cindy contact Linda? She can't do that.
Linda don't want to be contacted by anybody.
Wow.
Nobody, not Raymond, not Bobby, nobody. She wants no contact with anybody. She hates Raymond and Rose because she feels she was their slave. Richard, she was not their slave. They never paid her, Richard. They paid her. They never bought her anything. They did. Linda was just a babysitter, yes, but Rosie was working at C's. That's how she got on with at C's. Alicia and Rosie got in. But anyway, I don't know what it is about Rosie and Raymond, but and Bobby and Emily doesn't want to be around Bob and Emily at all. And you know, they treat us so good. When I go there, they let me stay a week in a room like this. Nice room, bed, the whole thing. They let me stay in it. Emily even give her and Bob were sleeping in separate rooms. I didn't know. And Bob says, "Come on, sis, you could stay over in, you know." So he had to give up his room and he had to go back and bed me. I told him, that's why you invited me.
Well, see, it'd be the same thing. I could have you stay here, and I would just move.
That-
But I don't sleep in here all the time. I
No.
sleep in there with her.
Yeah.
I
But you
sleep
know-
in here in the middle of the when. I'll move out of the bed in there at nighttime if I feel like I'm bothering her. If she has to work the next day,
Yeah.
and because I'm a cuddler, I like to hold her and
I
hug
do
her.
too.
And if I feel, because she'll turn away and I'll get that sigh. And I know at that point that I'm bothering her. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I'm bugging her. She's not resting.
Yeah.
So if I recognize that,
You
I
can-
will get up and move in here just so that she can rest the rest of the night and not have me sitting there poking and prodding
You
and
know,
hugging
you get
her.
that from your dad, because your dad would hold me all night long. Or I would turn around and hold him all night long.
What?
It was just how we were.
I
you
think
know?
I got that really from sleeping with my dogs.
Could be.
Because I cuddled my dogs, and she says I pet her. That's because, you know, when I had the dogs, I would rub their chest or their bellies,
Yeah.
you know, or pet them on the head.
Which dogs are you talking about?
I think I've slept with all of them,
Probably
Yeah.
Tatanka.
you know, and so I think I do it with her too. You know, I think whenever she's asleep or something, I think I'm petting her, or I'm just touching her or patting her.
You gotta have somebody there.
Yeah, I feel better. I sleep better whenever I'm holding her.
Yeah.
I sleep
You
better.
need to
She
get you a
doesn't.
long pillow.
That doesn't work. A pillow doesn't work for me.
No.
But
Yeah. That's just like my dog. Sometimes I go get him, put him in bed with me and hold him. You know. But I remember, you know, I'm not going to say because I'll cry. Anyway, but your dad was a hugger, and I was. Well, I wasn't at first, but your dad would just hold you. That's all it was. You were going to be held.
that's the way I am with her.
Yeah.
I gotta have at least one arm over you, and maybe an arm and a leg. You know.
That's just the way. And I think Shannon was the same way.
I just want to know she's there. That makes
Yeah.
me feel comfortable
Yeah.
that she's
I wonder if
there with me.
Stephanie's like that with Tyler. She says Tyler's real sick, but nobody knows what's wrong with him. She's afraid that he's gonna pass away. I just don't think like that.
What's she gonna do when that
I
happens?
don't know. You know, because that house is in his name and not hers. That I know of.
Yeah, same here.
I wish he would marry her. You know, then the house, even though they're not married, would come to her automatically.
Well, it wouldn't be automatically. Somebody else will fight for that. His
Or her
parents
dad.
Yeah,
His
her
dad
parents
would.
Whoever
Oh,
paid
yeah.
for it.
Have you been to her house?
Oh yeah,
She's
couple
got a
times.
nice house. Yeah. I like her backyard.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's a backyard. She's got a tree back there that the leaves.
Did
turn
you see
purple.
when she first moved in there? It had a little mini golf course.
No.
Had like a 3-hole golf course back there. 3 little sand. You know what I mean? Like not sand pits, but like little golf.
I know what you're talking about.
The whole little area around
Yeah.
the green, I guess you would call. I don't know what you call those. I'm not a golfer.
Hmm.
But yeah, she had like a little 3-hole golf course.
Oh, nobody played golf. You know,
I
well, I
just
didn't
don't
go in
like
the
that.
backyard because it was cold that day. I went over to her house, but I didn't go upstairs either. But I couldn't because I couldn't find steps there. I think I was.
I've
living
been
in the bottom.
upstairs. That's where the rooms are at.
Yeah.
And her craft room was up there. That's where I went.
Yeah.
Because I I asked to see Felicity.
Oh, did you? I wanted to see Felicity too. What she said?
She said she's up there in my closet. I'm like, all right, let's. She went upstairs. She got her.
Did she? Yeah. Well, how long she's had that thing? For how long now, Richard?
Mom, like 30 years.
She's 33. When did you give it to her?
She's probably like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember one time she left her with me. Not here, but I think in Phoenix. She left Felicity with me, or forgot her or something. And I think she was staying with us a few days or something. Have Felicity. And I gave her a bath. Oh, she got so mad. But she was not clean. I mean, she wasn't dirty. But I gave her a bath, and then I put her in the dryer. You know? I didn't tell her to put it in the dryer. I just told her I gave her a bath, and then I dried her. She said, don't do that, Grandma. She said, she's mine. Okay. She says, I'll take care of her. Never touched her again. I didn't know
She never left you with her again.
Yeah, she never did. You know, it was the same thing with Helios. When I would go over and babysit, I gave him a bath. I would put him in the sink and hold him and get everything ready in the living room, in the kitchen, and I bathed him. He liked the bath, and I put water all over him, you know, warm water on him, and then I get the towels and wrap him in the towel, take him in the living room, dry him off, then I fed him. Then once Tammy got home, she didn't have to bathe him, she didn't have to feed him, because they come home about sometimes 6, 7 o'clock by the time they both worked at Amazon, or yeah, they both did. Or were they working at Walden? Can't remember. No, she worked at Amazon, but I made them pay me $25 a week. And I thought that was okay. But when they would come home sometimes, there was a playground like this. It had swings and teeter-totters and things like that. Kids were all around playing. I don't know what it was about that baby. I would take him there and boom, all the kids would come and they'd want to play with him. You know, I'd put him on the grass, on a blanket, because I carried his stroller and put everything in his stroller. I would put the blanket on the grass and I laid him down. Boom, all the kids would come up. Not just the little girls, the little boys too. And they would talk with him and touch him, and you know, play with his little hands, his little feet. They thought he was a wonder, I guess, and he loved it. That baby knew he was getting a lot of attention. And then sometimes I would be there so late, I'd be coming home and they'd be coming home too in the car. And Tommy would be there waiting for me. You know, we would just lose track of time.
Yeah.
And I would put him on the swing. I would get on the swing and I'd put him on my lap, wrap my arms around him, and we'd swing. He liked that. He liked to swing because he couldn't get it. I like to put him in those swings with the little kids, like a bucket, but he wouldn't sit, you know.
You gotta get pillows.
And I didn't want to carry all that stuff in the stroller. So I took care of him that way, and I would love to bed, and I'd sing to him. You know, I would sing to him, knock 3 times. He liked that. We go, knock 3 times, you know, on the ceiling, and he just listened to them. I played it on the phone, you know, Tony Orlando. And when I find it there, I think, oh man, that's Helio's song. That and You Are My Sunshine. And you know, that's so fun. You know, I haven't called Jo lately. I guess I should call and see how she's doing. You know, just to check on her. But I used to sing that poor little kid, and clean her house. How do people get to her? Look at your house. There's just you and Aurora. But even when it was just Shannon and Tammy, the house wasn't fun. It was like Ray's house.
Yeah, I don't like a dirty house.
I don't either, Richard. I really don't. I don't like a messy house.
That's what I like about Aurora. She's very clean.
Yeah, she is. She's very neat. And she cleans things very, and her car's clean.
Well, and not only that, but there's no dishes in our sink.
But I do leave dishes in my sink sometimes.
Unless she's cooking or something, like overnight or something, there are no dishes in our sink.
Yeah.
If I find dishes in there, I'll do them myself too.
And I get up every night and turn the light on and look for that damn roach. I can't find him. I think once I find him and kill him, I won't look for him anymore. There was just one. And I took everything out from underneath the sink. And boy, I sprayed that thing down, let it dry. I sprayed the inside, the whole thing. Then I waited till it dried. Then I put things in that dish pans I bought and put them underneath it. Then I got to do my bathroom, put everything in the dish pan. That's what I bought them for. Because I just figure if there's a leak or something, everything won't get wet.
True.
So I thought, and they were just $1 at the dollar store. Yeah. And really, I bought one so I could soak my feet sometimes. But I guess I need to get a hold of, because she's not working right now, Stephanie, to take me to see the doctor about my hip. There's something wrong. I shouldn't. My hip replacement was in 2017.
Something like that.
And it bothers too much. I look, sitting like I'm sitting on a rock, and I'm over here looking to see.
Do you want to sit here?
No. No matter where I sit, I'm sitting on a rock.
Okay.
And I went to Stephanie took me to the doctor one time, because and it feels like my hip goes to my leg. And I have to rub it and push it back in place. And I shouldn't have to do that. I don't feel I should have
No,
to.
you should tell your doctor.
Yeah, so I got to call him and make an appointment. And just getting to him, I can't remember where. I got his cards. I didn't even throw the cards away. Here in my eye, I got to go see the eye doctor about my eye. Because it's not like it should be. This one's great. This one's got something in it, like a piece of something, that makes it's rubbing it. But this morning I got up and I was reading my Facebook with my glasses on. I couldn't see it. It was all blurry. Couldn't figure out why. Got up, took my medicine. I lay down a little while because I couldn't stay up very long. I was too woozy, like walking in a fog. You ever got drunk and you're high and you're walking down high? That's what I feel sometimes in the mornings. So I got up.
With your blood at that point?
It was low. It was very low. So I went in the kitchen and I fixed me some noodles because it was the easiest and the fastest. Well, I ate that little container of noodles. I gotta go get some more too. And I ate it, but I was still a little hungry. So I got my little Jimmy Dean things, with ham and eggs and potatoes. It was really good. Put it in the microwave and ate it, and I felt better. I could see. I don't have that. I'm walking around in a fog. That's what I told Linda last time she come to see me. She complained that I used too much bleach. And I had to, because I put some bleach on the door where the little bugs were and on the front door. And then I mopped it with my mop to clean the floor too. Full strength bleach, the one that Laura gave me, And I didn't use that much, just enough to. And she couldn't stay. It was bleach. It was giving her a headache. The bleach was too strong. I did not smell the bleach.
Because you were used to it.
I guess so. So after she left, and it was a good thing she left because I couldn't see her or Benji. I guess my blood, they came early in the morning, and my blood was so low I didn't take my insulin or anything because they had come over. And first time, I was glad they left. Because then I sat down, put my water in, got my breakfast, sat and ate my breakfast. After that, I took my medicine, I went in the bedroom and lay down, And after a while, I was okay. I could see everything, I know when my blood's low, not when it's high anymore, but when it's low. But I don't know if I was rude to her or why I know she said she left because of the bleach smell. But I didn't smell it. So like you say, I was probably used to it because I use it in my bathroom, in my toilet bowl with my brush and clean it and let it sit overnight sometimes. But the first time I was glad she left, and I thought, I called her. I told her I apologize if I was rude or anything. She says, no, why do you say that? And I told her, I said, I was so sick, Lynn, and I didn't want you to know I was sick. I didn't tell her what was wrong. I says, but I just had, as soon as she left, I had to go lay down. Oh, I'm sorry, you should have said something. No, because then she told me. She got mad at me. I don't know what caused it, what happened between it. But she told me, don't you ever, ever call me when you're dying or you're sick, 'cause I don't want to hear it. I said, okay. And I wouldn't, Richard, so if anything happens to me, don't you call Linda.
She's not on my list to call ever. I don't even have Linda's number.
Good.
Sorry.
Because it made me so angry that she would say that to me, and I don't know what made her say that to me. You know, I don't really argue with Linda, but she don't like to be talked back to. And sometimes I get fed up with her, and I will say something back to her, you know. And I guess I did that day. I was in that's
Rehab place?
yeah, the rehab place.
Citadel?
The Citadel, yeah. That's when she told me that when I was, you know, because I had asked her, why don't you come visit me? I would like to see you. Tammy came.
Yeah.
She came even to the emergency room when I was there at the hospital. But she never did. And I asked her why she didn't come see me. That's when she told me, I don't ever want to see you like that. She says, if you can't take care of yourself and you're dying, don't call me. I said, okay. That's when I told her.
She told that to Teresa too?
I had no idea. I knew. And the Tasha Lee made me really angry at Teresa's memorial thing. You know, Richard, Teresa didn't have that many friends. And Linda doesn't have any friends. I got a few friends. Dee, and I think Rosie passed away because I can't get a hold of her. And you know, like that. But the best memorial was your dad's memorial. That was the best memorial I've ever seen. I never seen so many people come to that, you know. And Joe said that when some of the other people passed away, you know, after your dad now, they nothing like. She calls him your dad, Richard. She don't like calling him Dick. Okay. She said, Richard had the best memorial. We had to go buy an extra chair. Eddie had to go do this and do that to help. And I told her, you know, we really thanked Eddie because he did help.
Yes,
you
he did.
know. And now nobody's there for Joe, you know, and I feel bad. So I don't know.
But Mom, and devil's advocate here, Joe caused that herself.
What's that?
Being the way she is, she turns away friends as well.
Yeah, she does.
She doesn't want to be friends with Annette.
Mm-mm.
And Annette has tried it. I've seen it. You know, so Joanne gets what she gets. You know, that's her life. That's the way she created it. So.
You know, she tells me when I call her. I told her, you know what? Not that this thing was over with, the COVID, and we could. The lady showed me. Well, the bus driver was telling me how to get from here to get on the train. Then the train will take me back a block from where they live. Take on my chair, so I could take my chair there. And I told Joe about that. And she said, oh, no, don't you be doing that. No, I don't want you. Yeah, there's nobody here that you know anyway. And they don't remember you anyway. She doesn't want anybody to know who I am. Isn't that funny?
No, she's... Mom, that's basic narcissistic behavior.
Okay.
They gotta be the star of the show.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I used to see myself like that too, but now... Since I've had this sickness, it's just, all things have changed. It's almost to the point where maybe it is I don't care, or now I'm seeing the other side of it, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Every time I get up and walk around, like now walking from your house to my house, the thing I think about every time is, man, I wish Dick and Shannon were here to see me walking. Because I was walking when your dad was alive, I think. Was I in a wheelchair when your dad died?
No, I don't think so. I think you were walking a little bit.
Yeah, I remember. That not walking was part of me because I was too scared to walk on my leg because it was hurting so bad. But now when I walk without, like now, I'm walking over here, I think, God, I'm so glad I'm able to walk even if it's slow. I walk, you know. And I walk around the casino, but I can always find a chair to sit in. You can just sit, you know. And I tell you, Richard, I don't know what it is. When I go to the casino and I go sit by someone to go play, that person wins as soon as I sit down. You know?
Maybe you should sit next to Aurora.
Well, she doesn't play SWAT. She plays, what you call it, I call it. I thought I played it once. I took $5 or $10 and put them in a poker machine. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know which ones I wanted to keep really,
Yeah.
or to let go, you know. One time I went with your dad, he plays poker on the poker. We were up in Reno. Yeah, we'd gone to Reno with Linda and Ben. Linda and Ben, you know where to find them. I don't care how big that casino was. They were at the same Laughlin. Well, I would go to Laughlin with them. I don't know where to go. If I walked from here to a neighboring Laughlin, I know right where they're at, and I know right where they're playing. Same machines. Quarter machine, 25 cents, 25 cents. I played with them one time, 25 cents. They were putting in 25 cents. I think Benji was paying 50 cents. You know, it made Linda mad. They was paying 50 cents. I played the $2 one, and I won $1,200 when we were at the Laughlin that one time. And she got mad, just, and the people were watching me because I kept getting little Bernie. Boom, 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 you win. Boom, 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 Bernie, Bernie. Linda says, what are you doing? I says, I'm getting all the Bernies. And she said, let me see. And Ben watched her machine. How much money are you playing? $2. Why? That's too much money. I said, yeah, but look what I won, Linda. And all the people were looking around. They said, oh, how did you do that? Because he just kept coming out. And every time he come up, you would win money. You know, and it was the same with the cash room. That's what I can't find here is a cash room. It's a game that you put your money in, and if you get the wheels, instead of the wheels where it gives you more free games, money falls. And you have to touch the machine like this on the dollar bills or whatever and win.
To collect the money.
Yeah, and I won $600 doing that. Lady showed me how. She said, don't, because I had the long nails. I said, don't do it with your nails, honey. She said, touch it with your fingertips and you win. So she come over and we were touching the machine with our fingertips and we won. I won $600. Oh, I think I won more than that.
So if someone comes to help you, you win more?
Well, they're helping, yeah. Yeah, because all that money's flying, and wherever money you hit, that's the money you get. $20, $50, $100. That's what you get, you know. And she was showing me how to do it, so she helped by getting the money too.
Okay.
Pretty nice. Linda doesn't like that. Linda don't like to. How do you say that? Don't be bothering people. Well, I don't bother people really, Richard. I just talk to them. I'll sit down and next to them I say, hi, how you doing? And they say, oh, whatever. And I say, oh, well, now you win. And they win, and it makes me mad. And they look at me and smile, you know, thank you. You know? That's what I do at the casino. I like to just go see the people. No, I gamble. I gamble too much this time, though. I got to go home and find that money, Richard. I know it's there. I put it away, so I thought I'd put it with my prescriptions, but I took my prescriptions out, put them on the table because I'm refilling them as I go along. Because I can't sit there and play with the pills, you know. But once it's done, it's done. But it's $40. And I put it in my pocket, nickel it up so it stays down in my pocket. And I know I took them out and put it somewhere. I thought I put it behind Mom's picture on top of my dresser in the corner, but it's not there. Then I thought, well, maybe I'd put it with my pills. They're not there. I don't know. I'll come across it. I'm in no rush. I don't have to pay. It's my Cox bill. And, of course, my damn phone. The only two things that don't, the Cox, I have to call the Cox in on the 16th.
Those don't come out automatically, huh?
I wanted to, and I don't know how to do it on the computer, so it comes out automatic. I like when they come out automatically. I was getting this.
So the next time the Cox guy shows up out there, you have him help you out.
I should, yeah. Yeah, I got a TV that keeps wrinkling. You know what I mean by wrinkling?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a puzzle. or something, I need them to come out and see what's wrong. I think the connections
And
are
when they
loose.
do that, then we'll just tell them to pull up your computer and have them access whatever you need to
Yeah,
do.
I'm paying them extra, something, $10 a month
Uh-huh.
to that contract where they can come out, and they don't charge me anything. Otherwise, it's $75 for them to come out.
Okay.
But one, yeah, told me, you buy that contract, I think it's either $5 or $10 extra that I'm paying. He said it's well worth it, so I bought it. I got
Well,
it.
then call them and have them come check your
Come
TV.
check my TV
And
out.
while they're there, have them log you onto the
Yeah,
computer
most of
and do
them
what you
have
need to
that.
do.
I took my chair to be fixed all the way down Mills Avenue, down to University. Remember we went that one time?
Yes, ma'am.
On the bus. Because the guy who put my new batteries told me you should get the extra high batteries. That way you won't be worried about crossing the intersection. I said, oh, I didn't know they do that. Oh yeah, they have them. Well, Larry come out and he says, I don't know why the driver told you that. He said, because the batteries you have are very good. Your scooter moves really good. He says, it really does. He said, what's really wrong? He asked me, you used to go grocery shopping and things like that?
You overload it.
Yeah, I overload it. He said, you're heavy. I put water and like I do the Pepsi and all the groceries in the bag. He said, that's gonna weigh your chair down. That's why it doesn't go as quick. And he's right. I didn't think about that. You know, because when I leave here, I don't have a problem with it. But once I start putting the groceries in, my groceries, they get heavy. And they are heavy. Especially the Pepsis and the water together.
So maybe you need to do Pepsi on one trip, water on another.
Exactly. That's what I need. I need to do that. I gotta go get some water at Big Lots and some toilet paper. Then I gotta run down to Food City the next day and buy the noodle box things. I only got 2 left now. 2 boxes. And I don't like them to get that low.
Okay.
And Stephanie saw my bowls of ramen noodles, Richard.
Uh-huh.
She says, Grandma, where'd you find those? At Food City. She said, oh, I like them. So I gave them to her. I'd had them. I said, you take them, Stephanie, you know, if you want them. And I put them in a bag, gave them to her. And she took them, you know. But she bought nice groceries.
Good.
She knows how to shop nice. And she buys things that Tyler likes. I bought hamburger. Bought good hamburger. It was $7.99 a pound. But it was good hamburger. And she says, can I buy a pound of it? I said, Stephanie, buy whatever you want, like $260. She said, okay, Grandma. Well, she only bought 1 pound of hamburger. And I told the guy, give me another pound and wrap them separately, because I put 1 pound in the refrigerator, keep 1 pound out. He said, oh, no problem. So he did that, but I gave them both to Stephanie. She says, Grandma, why'd you do that? I said, put one in the freezer, Stephanie, just for a while, and then cut it in half, and use half. She said, well, I only use half a pound whenever I cook. I said, okay, poor Tyler, no wonder he's skinny. Yeah. But she bought that, and she bought some romaine lettuce I'm going to try next time I go. Instead of buying the head, she buys the long. And she said, Grandma, you just chop it up, put it in your salad. And she said, then have the head on. But I like the whole lettuce, put it on my hamburger.
Yeah, I like the lettuce head myself.
And the tomato, I buy the
Shredded.
big tomato. One damn tomato cost me $1.96. But oh, Richard, it's a good big tomato. Steak tomatoes is what they call them, because you put them on steaks, you know, sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And when you cut my tomatoes this big. And then if I don't gonna eat it, I take it and I cut it in half and put it in slices, salt it, and go and let it underneath there. Just tomato. That's why I do right. I like the way this is going. We're just talking about everything, huh?
It's quite all right.
Yeah. I'm glad you don't show it to anybody. I guess you can look at it after I'm dead and say, that's my mom.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to be quiet.
Or
You
to
just
give it to Stephanie. That's basically what it's for.
Yeah, I told Stephanie I wish you would come over and do this, because I wanted you to see me while I'm still here, Stephanie. You know, I don't want you being crying and say after I'm gone and everything, 'cause that's not going to do any good. You
No.
know, I want to see you while I'm still here. And she go, okay, that's what I feel about Linda. I want to see her while she's still here, you know. But I think she and Ben are getting sick. If Linda's too sick to watch her granddaughter, and she's 4 years younger than I am, so that makes her 72, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to be 77 this month. The next month. So 77. minus 4 makes it 73.
Yeah, you got your birthday next month and Mama Benny's birthday next month.
Oh, do you? Does she?
Yeah. You're the 16th
Uh-huh.
and Mama Benny is the 10th.
Oh, she's on the 10th. We should celebrate together. Go to the casino. This year I gotta stay away from those places. And I like them. And I have no inclination to go till they ask me. You know? But I want to go to be with them.
Yeah.
Does that sound crazy?
No, that's
You
quite
know?
alright.
And I enjoy them. And now they've learned Brewer goes this way, Benny goes this way, and I stay here. You know, I like to play the machines that you see when you first walk in, because they have them done. So when people come, they see the pain, and that's why they come in. I read that in a book and on Facebook. You know, they talk about this is how you win. This is how you win, and I read them, and I listen to them, and they tell you how to play poker. I can't play poker. I tried playing poker on my phone.
Yeah.
I lose all the time. I lose. Look at that little girl's hair, Richard.
Yeah. Afro.
You think they would trim it? Maybe she didn't want it trimmed. I miss my little girl over here in the corner. Why, she used to come and help me, Richard, all the time. But she always had to have Pete along. I didn't like Pete because, yeah, I considered Pete a thief, you know. He was just there to see what he could take.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what they did with her. She's gone. I asked Pete about her. She says, oh, she's so-and-so. She'll be back. She'll be back. Oh, you should see her. When I met her, she was so little, slim. Now she's this much taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
And then that girl is strong. She's built like an Amazon. You know. And she comes over running to me, say hi. And I haven't seen him. I think his name is Michael. I haven't seen him either. But you know, they come over because I give them cookies. I make them cupcakes. I do. I make them cupcakes and I see them out there like Cody over here. Is that his name's Cody?
Mm-hmm.
I see him. I said, "God, I made some guys some cupcakes." He said, "All of this?" That's what I like about him. I said, "Yes, all of it. I'll put them in a box and I'll let you take them out." Okay, makes him feel good. He takes them out, shares. I watch him through my bedroom window, and he takes them and gives everybody some. Yeah. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if the parents know. Sometimes I tell them, "Do you want these?" You gotta go ask your parents if it's okay to give them to you. But now that I met his mom, it's not so bad, you know. But it's so funny. I haven't seen him out, but I guess maybe it's too hot. In school, Richard? School started, huh?
No, Mom. It's still summer.
School don't start till
Or maybe-
September.
I don't know, to be honest. It is August. It could start this month.
Yeah, sometime this month.
It's
That-
June, July, and August are the summer months, so probably sometime this month.
Yeah, it should start cooling off next month, huh? September, I hope. I don't think it starts really cooling off
October.
till October here. It'll still be hot for the next few months. And you know, I don't mind because I'm not really out in it. And I decided, damn it, Richard, I'm tired of laying in my bed or sitting in the living, sweating. Because I don't want to pay for the electric. But my electric's not that hot.
Exactly, Mom. I try to tell you, don't be
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Let
Yeah.
it go.
So that's what I did last month. And my bill was $69.04. I thought, hey, I kept cool. Now I still got my air conditioning running. I don't want to go home to a warm house.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to be comfortable. And I run my fans. I don't know if I need to run my fans, but it blows that cool air on me. And I like
I run
that.
this one every once in a while too, just to circulate the air in here.
Yeah, and your air conditioning, but you don't always turn your air conditioning on too much.
All the time. It's on all the time.
Well, yeah, and your house is Laura likes it cold. Yeah. We've got good day when we went to the casino the other night. We were coming home, and they had the air conditioner on. It was so cool in the car. And they were just,
Yeah.
and they were in the front getting out most of it, you know. And I did the same thing. I thought, hell, put your jacket on. Yeah, but I thought, oh. But in the casinos, it's cold in there.
Even at my work, I get cold. I have to carry a jacket and I carry a poncho at work too.
Do you? You should get you some tights. That's what that man he
I
said.
got
wear
some in there
tights."
too.
He says, and I put them on when it's cold out there, 'cause I'm tired of being cold. 'Cause I just put them on like, they're tights like nylons, but they're
Or
nice.
like,
They're warm.
it's just like thermal.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not as heavy as thermal, but they keep you as warm. And when they call me and say, want to go to the casino, I go, yeah. First thing I do, I go to my sock drawer and put on my tights, because that way I'm warm. I put on my tights, I put on a shirt, and then I put on a shirt over that shirt, and take a jacket. And I put socks on my feet like this sometimes, not always. Did I tell you I lost my shoes at the casino?
No.
Those plastic ones, they're so comfortable, but they're big. All my things are big, because I bought them when my foot was swollen, and I bought them to fit this foot too. So now that the swelling's gone, they're loose.
So go get some more new shoes.
I know Linda bought me 2 pair,
Okay.
and they're very nice. They go on and they in the back, so they're comfortable too. Anyway, I went to the casino, sitting there playing, and winning and playing and losing. All of a sudden, I go down there. I lost a shoe. I don't know where I lost my shoe. So I took my money out, went around looking where I knew where I'd been, couldn't find my shoe. And I said, well, I took off the other one, put it in my bag, and just went on playing. And then when I got tired of playing, I went up to the guard and I asked her. She was very nice. I said, did somebody turn in a shoe? She looks at me. I said, yeah, I lost it. And she says, is it a plastic sandal? No, it's a plastic, what do I call it? They're not
Like
sandals.
a jelly.
Yeah. And she said, oh yeah. So Becky, you want to come get it? Go around and get it. She gave it to me, just, how did you lose your shoe? And I told her. She was very nice. She wasn't busy. And she says, okay, but where are your shoes? Because I was barefooted for a while. I am more comfortable in socks than I am in shoes because my feet don't hurt. I said, okay. So I put my shoe on, sat down right there in that chair by her dear, and she watched me put on my shoe. But they're loose. They're like flip-flops, they're pink. So when I got out of her side, I took them off. I had stockings on anyway, the little black ones. And I just walked around, put them in my bag, and played what I wanted to do. Nobody looks at your feet. I went with Linda and been to the casino, Repapa, or whatever, that new one.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. Wish I could talk these two into going to that one. It's nice. And you win a little bit. Anyway, Linda got so upset. Because when we got there, she looks down and she says, Norma G, where's your shoes? I says, Linda, I don't wear shoes yet. Not yet. I says, but I did. I just didn't want to go. I wanted to be comfortable. Well, they're not going to let, oh, she got so upset, so angry. I says, Linda, nobody's ever said anything, and I explained to them, and I showed them why I don't wear shoes. I have never had a problem with it. Okay, well, if you can't get in, that's your fault. And that's where she is. I said, okay. Nobody said a word. Who looks at your feet?
I don't know.
I didn't say nothing. You know? So, I got in. I knew she got angry, but that's too bad, you know? She can't boss me with it all the time. I tried telling her, I'm your older sister. You're the younger sister. You can't boss me, Linda.
Shannon used to do the same thing, Mom.
Yeah, I bossed you, huh?
Tried to, yeah.
I don't know what it is that they have to be bossy. I feel sorry for Ben.
I do too.
I do. I really do feel sorry for him. You know what? That he has to. Now he's getting
Want me
better.
to get that out of there for you?
Yeah. Now that there's a little bit left. Now that he's feeling better, she wants him to do this, do that, do that. I says, Linda, Richard is getting better. I don't ask him to do anything unless I really need to, because he's just not ready yet. You know, and I understand that.
Even Chris, he wants to go on this hike, and that's what I told him. I'm like, dude, there's no way I could carry my backpack, uh, um,
The
sleeping
water and
bag,
everything, yeah.
and a tent. I used to be able to hike into the desert 5 miles and hike out 5 miles for a total of 10 miles.
Yeah.
I go, I might be able to do a mile in and a mile out. If I can rest a day, mile in, rest a day, mile out. I go there, I'm not.
And I know that,
100%.
Richard. But Linda don't understand that of Ben. She expects him to move the furniture, move this and move that. The last
And it's not
thing-
just that, you get tired a whole lot
Yes,
easier.
even I get tired. You know, and I'm not sick. I get tired.
There's a
but
trash can right there when you're done.
I gotta go get that. I get tired, you know, and I know I overdo it, but I look at it this way. Like, I put my curtains up. I thought, oh, I didn't want to put them up. I wanted them to match my bedspread. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, no. Finally, I got up one morning, I felt good, looked at the curtains, I'm going to do it. And took everything off my dresser, put this rubber thing on there, got the grabber, the rail, it's just a thing and it comes right off. You know, the little hooks are like that.
Right.
And I took them off and they came right off. I took them off. And the other ones, I had them all ready to go because they got the big holes. So I just put them all together, put them on the curtain, got on the dresser, put that side in first, that side went in, they were up. And hardest part was folding those damn turquoise curtains because they're lined and they're so heavy. One, and I got 4 or 5 of them up there, 6 I think. Folding them in and getting them from the curtain. I got them in a little thing about this big, and I'm going to put them. I'm going to wash my bedspread. Now I could put them in a box and put everything in, mark it, and put it up in the closet because they're for some. I like those curtains. I got because I could see through them through my bedroom. They're light, and it makes my room not so dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, and they match my bedspread. I got the pillowcases to me. You know, and I like that. And I thought I could do that. Richard don't have to come over here now, because I was gonna wait till you felt better and have you put them up. But I thought, you know what? He's gonna do the same thing I'm gonna have to do. Oh, I got my ladder. Remember that ladder thing your dad bought me? I got that ladder, and I used it to step on to put that side on. I couldn't get enough to get it on the other side by holding up with the curtains. So if I got on the dresser, it was just easier. And I had them all ready to go, and I got on the dresser, and I made sure I didn't slip because I kept, you know, got up there, that side went on, that side went on. I got off the dresser, and I was done. I don't think I was on there 2 minutes, if that, or even a minute. That's how easy it was. Because the curtains are real light. But the other ones, remember how they sagged in the middle like this? Because the curtains were heavy. Now they're just nice and straight across. And I like them. And you know what? I think to myself, I'm trying to do like Aurora. When I come over here, she's got everything planned. I gotta get me some plants. I mean it. I gotta get me some plants. Like she's got that one right there by your kitchen. Do you know how nice that looks just being right there in that bowl? That's what I want to do. But where am I going to put them? I don't have the room like you all do.
Exactly, Mom.
Yeah, I don't have the room.
Just be happy with what you have.
Yeah, lady gave me aloe vera, big ones like this, and she says, brought them over. Rosie, she lives not this there, but the one over. I see her. She's the last one I see when I go out the gate to catch the bus, and she's always there waiting to talk and talk. And she gave me some aloe vera when I come home. She brought them over. I said, I don't have anything to put in it. She said, well, do you have a bucket or something? Yeah. Yes, I showed. Well, that's perfect. We put them in there. Then we took them outside. Then we got some water and we watered them. Then it rained, you know. So they're in the backyard growing in the bucket.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm going to go get me a planter, a plastic cheapy planter at the dollar store.
And just transplant
And
it.
just but I got to get some dirt to put in there. I don't have any dirt in my backyard or funny
No, you
one.
gotta get some potting soil.
Yeah.
You want anything else to drink?
No. Mm-mm.
You done with that, or?
Yeah, I'm done with that, Richard. Thank you. I rinsed them before I throw them in my trash.
You what?
I rinse them.
I don't bother.
Well, I don't know if this is still going. I'm sorry we got sidetracked, but I hear from Richard every single day. But I don't see him, and I want to see him physically, not just hear from him on the phone. So when I get a chance, I come over and I bother him till he gets tired of me. Then I go home because I just have to go out the door and around the corner, down a little few steps, and I'm home. But I'm by myself. I don't like always being by myself, so I come over and bother Richard, poor thing. But his wife, she don't bother us in here in the room because I like to talk about the family, and I really don't want to know about our family. And you know what? That's okay because she's got her family, and I understand. Richard's my family. All I got left is Stephanie, right? I saw her the other day. I don't know if I'm still recording, but I'm talking about you.
Yep.
And I'm telling them that I come down here to see you because I'm by myself, and I come and bother you.
You're not bothering me, Mom. I'm
know.
not doing anything either.
And I told him, I really let Richard have this space for him herself. I said, because she didn't want to hear, because we talk about family, and she didn't want to hear about our family, and that's okay. She's got her family, and she's with her family, and I understand that. But I like talking about everybody that we know. I like the people on Facebook. Little Linda's on there. Sometimes Roxanne's on there, and Dorothy Comer's little girl's on there. Can't remember, you know, little
Dorothy's
girl.
on there too.
Yeah, I see pictures of Dorothy. She looks the same. She's like me. We just gotten older. And I see pictures of Lee. I don't know who the woman is. I think I asked him. I think he said it was a friend. I thought it was his new wife, but he said he's not married anymore. And I talk to Jackie, not too often. I talk more to Stephen, her husband, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
We talk almost an hour. You know, I mean, I call him on the phone. I don't talk on Facebook to him. And we just talk about everything. Jackie, y'all, kids over in Lamar, Mom and Dad. We talk about everybody, Stephen. But we don't talk about Stephen Wayne. Jackie and I do. He doesn't talk to her yet.
Wow.
Can you tell? Yeah. He talks to his dad. You know, he's not married to that girl. Remember her wedding we went to?
Yeah.
Well, he's not married to her anymore.
No, she was pretty.
Yeah. He's married to somebody else, and she's pretty too. Yeah.
Well, he's a good-looking kid, so.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he's a very good kid. I think he is.
Well,
Good
I
kid.
think he's stable too, because you know it's military career, and he's.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think. So. Yeah, I just haven't talked to Stephen.
I bought that thing for you. See what it reads.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, anyway.
I don't really need anything like that.
I
Mom.
know.
don't
I am,
drink
so I
soda.
keep them. When I think of buying you something,
And
I
stop
don't.
buying me stuff like that too, Mom. You know that umbrella sunshade thing that lasted a week.
Did it break?
Yep, it's already broken.
Did you throw it away?
No, I still have it.
Give it back to me. I'll send it back. You got everything. I mean the box and everything still.
Not the box, no, but I have a little thing that slid into. But don't worry about it. I'm just gonna throw it away.
Richard, that was $40.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Don't be buying anything like that for me.
Well, I could send it back. Maybe I could buy something else. I wondered why you weren't using it.
Yeah, it lasted a week and it broke.
But broke that thing. The
No, one of the pieces broke off of the side. It won't stay open all the way.
Oh. Well, you should give it back to me. I will send it back.
All
You
right.
know me. I have nothing else to do.
Okay.
That's just like when the people call me. I don't do it anymore though. I tell them, sell you insurance. This one guy is so persistent, and I just ignore him. Life insurance. I told him I was only checking about getting extra. Didn't say I needed it. Man, I think to myself, he must be desperate to sell it. Because I hear from him at least 2 or 3 times a day. His deal comes on my thing, life insurance, because that's what I put him under, you know. And I just don't answer him anymore. Because oh gosh. And
I don't answer any of those people anymore, to be honest. None of
you
them.
know, I don't have any more spam calls, but say maybe 3 a day. That's it. I had one from Indonesia yesterday. I don't answer. I just close my. I don't delete them either. I just let the call go through.
That's what I do too.
Don't
I don't
answer.
care. Just let it go through. If
Yeah.
they need me, they'll leave a message.
I know. Some leave a message. My doctor leaves a message. You know. She gave me some medicine for my. She gave me 2 more pills. I don't like them giving me other pills. I can't remember what they're for. One's for cholesterol. I have to take it half an hour before I eat, or half hour after I eat, I think. But I put them all together. I take the directions and I highlight them so I can read them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I know what I got. I need to go down to Richard and buy me a little calendar book at Walmart, because this one I bought was only for 6 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta go down and buy now one and do the rest of the year with it. 'Cause I've gotten so used to as the date and the lines, and I just put blood, how many insulin I take, and my meds and what time and there. It's perfect. The score's only like that big that I write everything in. Oh no, it's bigger than that. It's long. And I didn't realize it till I'm almost through that. It didn't go that long. If I would have known, I would have bought for the next month, you know. But I didn't know, and I couldn't remember where I bought it. I thought I bought it at the dollar store. But then I saw it advertised on TV at Walmart, so I bought it at Walmart. So I got to go down to Walmart and check. I haven't gone because it's been too hot, and I didn't get up early enough to go. And by the time I get up, and by 9 o'clock sometime, even that's too hot to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know. So one day I just wait and I try to get to Walmart by 7 in the morning. They open up at 6. I make sure I get there at 7, do what I gotta do, and I get home. Sometimes I get home by 9 o'clock. And I've got all my shopping done. Get all everything taken care of. But that's what I need to do when I go to Walmart. Right now I'm just writing it down. It's a pain to just write the whole thing down. You know. The date, and then I can't remember the date because they have the dates right there for me,
Right.
you know, and number like Tuesday, like today is Saturday and it's the 7th, and I have to write it Saturday 8/7, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't mind, but there are times when it's just a pain in the neck to do it. So, I know. I guess I'm getting lazy in my old age, huh?
That's all right, Mom. That should have been done for you. You should buy a book that has the dates already.
I should have looked. And I went to the secondhand store. Oh, I bought Stephanie some drawing paper.
Mm-hmm.
Good drawing paper. That lady was going in, I found them on my chair at the bottom, and she said, "You buying all of them?" Well, for $1.49, yeah, you know. And then it's 50% off if it's the right color for the day. So, and I buy her drawing paper and crayon because they're new. And like yesterday, I bought her a beautiful blue sparkly one. She says, "Oh, Grandma," I says, "Stephanie," and I do. I clean them with that antibacterial cloth that we have.
Mom, she doesn't appreciate anything
No, I
like
guess
that.
not.
So don't waste your money on her. Don't waste your money on me. Waste your money on yourself.
I don't need anything.
Well, then go to the casino and have fun.
I do have fun.
Yeah, don't
there.
waste your money on us, Mom.
I forget everything is this when I go in the casino. Because you concentrate on your winning, or you're concentrating on somebody that's next to me and we're talking, you know. And it's so funny. You don't have to wear a mask. Some of them don't wear a mask. I wear my mask. And they go, "How you doing?" You're not supposed to touch anybody. But I just say it's okay. I said, "You know what?
You do it
Mask."
too.
Yeah, I do automatically. Like, yeah, I do. But I think that's why I go to the casino. Maybe it's to play, but also to intermingle with the people. And I eat. I go to eat. But Battle Horse doesn't have independent in it like Longview does.
Right.
So sometimes I almost went to Longview when she called. I thought, man, I gotta do anything. I got a little extra money. I think I'll go to Longview because I know it, you know, where everything's at where I like to play. And they got Andy Panda. And I thought, okay, nah. Then I decided not to go. And where was I when Aurora called? I forgot where I was when Aurora called me and asked me to go. I said, well, I can't go because I'm not. I was getting my go-go scooter. I was over on University and 47th what you call. That's for the scooter places. And I told her, I know, I said, well, they want to go at 1 o'clock. And I said, no, I can't make it home by 1 o'clock because I know how the buses are running. Because I got to catch 2 buses, you know. And she says, well, I said, well, ask her mom if she don't mind waiting. I'll be there and I'll call you.
It's Filipino time too. Huh?
Yeah, you know what?
So they always run
We
late.
didn't leave till 3.
Yeah, they always run late anyway.
I came home, I put on my clothes, and I ate my lunch. Then she called me right after I finished eating. Mom, you ready to go? Because I'm here. Yeah, I'm ready. I was ready, you know, from 3 o'clock. But she did call me and tell me, Mom, my mom can't go until 3. I said, oh, that's great. That was okay with me because it gave me time to do what I wanted to do. Because sometimes I get up and I don't even make my damn bed. Did I make my bed now? No, my bed's not made. The pillows are not on here. But when I was talking to Aurora, Larry was talking to me about my go-go scooter. He says, go ahead and get your phone. I'll wait a minute. And it was Aurora. I could hear when they talk on my phone. He says, oh, you're going to go to the casino, huh? I said, yeah. He says, which one? I said, they like Wild Horse. I like Long Butte. I said, I can get out here, just go down, from here down to Kyrene and go on Long, because I was on 47. You can take the bus from 47 or 48 down to Kyrene, and then go a little bit down, there's Long Butte, you know. I can do that. I said, but I already told him I'd go to Wild Horse with him, so.
Well, they get the freebies at Wild Horse.
I got $5.
Every day you get a free like $5 or $10 gift thing, and then if you go there, then they have the specials like at 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 8 o'clock.
Yeah, they
drawings.
Like
those. So she goes there and plays her $10, and they get like $10 in free play.
Yeah.
I think what she does is she just uses that to eat, and then just sits there and waits for the drawings.
Yeah, she was just sitting there when I saw her. And then when I won that $15, and I put another 5 in it, it was so funny. She was sitting there finishing her hamburger. I helped her with fries. And then I went and put some money in, won that, and I took her over that slip that said $15. I won that with $5. And I gave her that with a $5 bill. I said, well, take this and go play for a while until we find your mom, and she's standing. Okay, she was gone. That was so funny. And I don't mind sharing with her. I really don't, Richard. Yeah. Especially if I win a little good money, I don't mind sharing her. Because, you know, and Benny's the same way. Well, I went the first time with them, second time. She loaned me $100. She didn't have to.
Yeah.
And I wonder why she loaned me $100. I can't remember.
So that you'll give her $100 back later.
I did. I gave it back to her the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. That's her insurance.
Yeah. That was okay. I appreciated it, you know. But that's when that $100, I won $200 and something on one of the machines. Somebody left a credit. And I went and sat down and won 350 games just by the second hit. When I pressed the button, it spun and gave me the blip. So Billy was on this side, Russ on this side, and we're just pushing the button. I won 350 games, you know. So they had fun too with that. And I don't mind that, you know, because I like them. Yeah. Though I do have to admit, I like going to Longview by myself on the bus.
You do like going to Longview?
I do. Isn't that funny?
No, you can do that yourself.
Don't
tell anybody.
Then now, like I do my budget. That's why I shouldn't have done that. This month, I had, after everything was paid, I don't know how I got my calculations wrong, but I had $200 and something left over for whatever I want to buy. Don't need groceries, I got plenty. I got stamps, I got, even after Stephanie got groceries, still had $191 left on my stamps. I got plenty of toys, I got plenty of everything. And I thought that extra money, I went into the casino and I spent that. But then when I got home, I reviewed my budget just to make sure again. And I was short $40. Couldn't find out where I was short $40. Still can't find it, but my budget on my phone shows how much money I got, and I don't budget with theirs. So I look it up, you know, because I like that you put it on my bills. And I found out that the $40 was one of my accounts that I pay every month, but it went from $35 to $40. They raised it. They can do that, I guess. I don't know. So when I paid that knocked me down, you know. So I thought, well, shoot, now I'm going to be it. What worries me is that damn phone at the end of the month, but that's covered. Cox, as soon as I find that money and put it in, that'll be covered. It's only $25. I keep thinking that Cox is $40-something, because it was. But the guy lowered it for me. Even though I got that $5 thing, he still lowered it to me to $25. Until they tell me they can't do it anymore, I'm getting it free. And that's the one I said, that's what I gotta go put. But I got the money, Richard. I just don't know where I put it. You know, I got $40 and I always put aside. You know, I get cash, like when I get that. You know, I paid my rent. When I paid my rent,
Yeah.
Jessica was not there. So I was gonna put it through the mail slot.
Right.
That mailman had that mail slot so stuffed that I could just reach my hand in and take the mail out. So I did. And then I put it back in so I could put my deal in. I couldn't get my check in. You know, and I didn't want to have to go back because I don't know what time she gets back from lunch. But I didn't want to have to go home, get cooled off, relax, and then go out again in the heat, you know.
Right.
So I just moved the mail and put my check in. That was okay. Other than to tell Jessica that to me. But he's a nice mailman, you know. Sometimes I go wait for him and wait till he finishes putting the mail in. He talks to me while he's putting the mail in. I told him when I went for the mail out in San Francisco. Oh, he says, how did you like that? I said, well, between what I did out there and you're doing now, San Francisco was my better buy. Not as hot. I said, that's why I didn't stay working for you. I couldn't take that heat.
Right.
I said, there was just no way I could. That's when we first moved here. Couldn't take that heat. Like now, I couldn't go out and deliver the mail.
I couldn't work out in this heat either.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If I lose my job now, I have to find a job where I can work from home, I think.
Yeah. Well, you're okay though, aren't you, on your job?
It's iffy.
Yeah.
They're changing all the procedures.
Yeah.
And me with my medical stuff, you know, and I'm not, so the company's paying extra because of my medical shit.
Well, that's what you
And
pay
I'm always-
insurance for.
Exactly. Well, I'm always the first one that they look at letting go,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, they do that, I would tell them, you know, lawyers, heck. Oh, Richard, Montgomery Woods. They're sending me a bill 4 or 5 times a month.
What do you got from Montgomery Ward?
That's what I had ordered something from Montgomery, but I never got it. And I told them, finally, I talked to some guy, a CEO or something, because I got mad. And I told him that, and I'm always nice, I'm not rude. I do get impatient, but I'm not rude. And I told him, look, I have gotten 4 or 5 statements from you all for $30. $20 of that is for shipping. I'm not paying for something I did not get. And I explained to him that, and I, thank goodness, Richard, I write that down in my calendars in the little square. I said, in January I ordered this, but you couldn't order it, I wouldn't get it till March. I said, after I thought about it, that was too long to wait. So I called you all back, and this is who I talked to. This is the order number. And this is the date. First was January. I did cancel it in February. I says, so they're all written down with names and everything. I says, I have talked to this person and this person. The last person I talked to just now before you, her name's Michelle. Very nice lady. She told me to talk to you. So I'm telling you my story again. And he listened to me. Very nice. Listen. He says, I'm telling you now. He gave me his name. I wrote it down. He says, you should not receive anything from us again. I said, that's what it is. I feel, I'm 76 years old. I'm handicapped.
And now you're
harassing me. I can't do this anymore. And that's when he said, oh, no problem. You won't hear from them. I got a letter yesterday from them. Again. This time it's, you are not doing this and that. I didn't do nothing. I'm going to see if I get one more.
Wait, keep all those letters?
I got them all.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take them to this lawyer place right down the street from us.
No. What we'll do is you'll photograph them to document them. Then you'll send an email to that guy that you spoke with saying, look, this is what I'm talking about, the harassment.
Yeah.
If it does not cease immediately, we will seek legal action.
Yeah. And he could pay me. Yeah. But you know what, Richard? I don't know where I got in the habit of writing everything down. Even with the Cox, when I call and talk to her, I can tell you who I talked to. It's almost the same. Same as my pharmacy over here, Michael. I always talk to Michael because of my pills, you know. And he's very nice. And when I go there, I always ask for him. And sometimes he's busy, but he'll say hi. Because that's just all. Just hi, Michael. How you doing? They're nice. They have. Remember that lady that was rude? She's real nice now.
Well, you put a name with the face and you start asking them for their name. I'm that way too. If you use my name in the conversation, that means you're paying attention to me or you're writing it down.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you use my name, I'm actually going to be extra nice to you.
Yeah.
And if you use my name, I feel, and this is what I've told my bosses over my phone calls, I feel like if you're using my name, which I give them freely, we're on an interpersonal issue there.
Yeah.
I'm talking to them as a person, not as employee to employee.
Yeah.
It's personal.
Exactly.
So
they don't understand that, some of these people.
They don't have a concept of that.
Yeah. I know, because when I call them, like I said, I talk to Michelle. And I always ask, oh, Michelle, how's your day going? Where are you? I'm in Tempe, Arizona. Sometimes they're in another state, on Players. And she'll tell me, and we'll talk about this, and we'll talk about that. And then I'll tell her what my problem is. By then, we got a rapport going between us.
Right, exactly.
She's nice, and I'm nice. And then when she put me with that man, I can't remember his name. I think it was Robert. And I said, Michelle, thank you. You had such a nice day, and it was so wonderful talking to you. Oh, Mrs. Griffith, it was so nice talking to you. You're so polite and stuff, you know. And I'm done with her. Now I got to go on to the next person, you know. And you know what I find out? People like when I've learned, maybe being in the storage business. Boy, I love that. I wish I was there again. They like when you talk to them personally, and they love when you admire the children. That's just them. You could just tell. That lady's baby, he was such a his little boy. Jeans, hair stinking up, little western shirt. Wasn't really a western, it was more like a checkered shirt. He's so cute. And he was asleep. And I just said, God, look at your baby. She said, yes, of course you can. Stephanie walked off. She couldn't go too far because I had the chair thing. She didn't like, but I don't know. That was where I was going to put my girl. I was going to get a basket. And she could put her stuff in a basket. And I could walk, you know. But they happened to be two chairs. Well, the first one I got didn't have much of a charge. So we took it back. And you're getting too close to the wall, Grandma. You open the door, you know, she's like, Linda. So I got the other chair, and they're not like the ones at Walmart. These are baskets bigger, chairs are bigger. And I like them because they're easier to see, you know. And I'm just going on. They never hit anybody. Grandma, be careful, be careful. I said, Stephanie, let me tell you something when you want one of these. People see you in this. They should have enough knowledge up here to stop, right, get in front of me. If they see me coming, either go quick or stop and let me go through, you know, or I'll wait for them. Either way. And she was just so upset because this lady almost ran into me. And it's her fault because she was on her phone looking, you know. This man saw her. I saw her. I stopped. And he stopped by me. He's on the corner. And after I told Stephanie that, because she really came down on me because of it. And I told her, that's when I told her, you know, that lady should have been watching where she was going, not being on her phone.
Yeah.
And Stephanie said, oh, well, you know, and that man said, she's right. We should not be on our phone. And she's right. She really does have the lighter on her. She's handicapped. Like handicapped. Yes, I am, and thank you, sir. But, Brownie, you're getting too close. Don't back up, Grandma. You know, there might be somebody. Oh. I thought, gosh, I got Linda with me. You know, because she does the same thing. I'm surprised Ben doesn't have her yet. Ben, watch out that car. It's too close, Ben. Ben, would you see that car? I mean, she upsets me and I'm sitting in the back seat. I'm like this. So going riding with Lynn is an experience, you know. That's why I say, I don't know how Ben does. Maybe that's why Tammy gets angry with her. Yeah. I don't know. But I like my little Tammy. I like her because she sends me cards, nice cards.
Sophie doesn't?
No. No, Sophie don't at all.
Well, for them being twins, you would think they would.
I know.
You
They
know.
don't get along. Do you know Benji had a birthday party for his kids? Olivia and I don't remember. I never met his kids but one time. Remember when we met Olivia, baby?
Yeah.
Well, she's 11 years old now, Richard.
Wow.
Yeah, and big. So I haven't seen her. Linda, I asked Linda, why don't you bring them over and fall? We could visit with them. You know, like you bring your kids here and I visit with them. No, oh no.
Well, no, it's.
I don't know.
Maybe they just don't want to. It's just like with Stephanie too.
Yeah.
You know, I could invite her to all of these parties that we have with.
She don't want to go.
She really wouldn't come,
No.
and I feel like if I invite her and she turns it down, I kind of feel like I'm invading her time and space. You know.
Yeah, that's why I don't call her to take me in. She calls, tells me, Grandma, I'll take you to the doctor. I'll do that.
But then when you do it,
It's
not.
like, ooh, yeah, you know, impatient. She's impatient. She's a very impatient young lady. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't understand her. Am I impatient?
Sometimes not.
Am I impatient? I am, huh?
I think we all are. I get irritated easily nowadays too. So.
Well, I put that up to you being not real well yet.
Well, like people that work around me are saying that I guess I'm too old school.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? When we had our big meeting and everything,
Yeah.
They brought something to my attention what I thought was totally backwards. But that, you know, it just goes along with this mentality of today's kids thinking and whatnot. And the people that are promoted nowadays have to move laterally first, is what they're saying. Okay, so for me, and that's what I told them. For me, and the way I thought the business model was, you enter the workplace, you enter at an entry level position, and you work your way up from that entry level position.
Right.
You do your time, years, whatever it is, position opens up above you, and you should automatically move into that position if your performance, your tenure, and everything works out. You should automatically move up into these positions.
Right.
Okay, if those positions never open up and the same people occupy those positions for 10 years, then there's no opportunity for others to move up.
Yeah, it's true.
That's where I'm at. I've been in the same position for over 10 years. There really is no opportunity to move up because 3 of the 4 people that occupy those 5 positions have been in those positions for 10 years.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
don't wanna
or above. So there's no real, I don't want to move to a graveyard shift, or you know what I mean. Anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving up the ladder that way. And I go, that's my understanding of what the corporate model is.
Yeah.
But that's not the way it is. Nowadays, they promote people who move. Okay, so I work in the banking business.
Yeah.
If I start off as a teller at the bank, and I didn't like that position, so I move over to something else, maybe the fraud department.
Yeah.
And I worked there for 6 months, and you know what? I don't like this position either. So I move over to credit cards, say credit cards, and I worked that for 6, 8, maybe a year there. I liked it, but I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So you move laterally again until you get to my department then. So you get to my department, and then my boss, well, not my particular boss, because he's been there for the 10 years,
Yeah.
but his boss has, been newly acquired. And he sees this as a plus. Wow. You've both been with the company for about the same amount of time. Richie, you've been here doing the same thing for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But she started off over here and then moved laterally to this position and worked that part. Then moved to this department, worked that for a year or 2 and did that, and then over here for 4 years and then moved this way. She's not moving up.
She's
She's moving laterally.
Yeah.
We're going to promote her. Yeah, she gets promoted now because she has a more understanding of the overall banking situation. She's moved around enough. She recognizes what goes on here, and she's over here and over here. So she has a better picture of the overall banking.
And you don't.
You don't, because you've been specialized in this one position for the last 10 years. So, you're promoting somebody instead of myself, who has proven for the last 10 years and paid my dues and worked my way up to this point. There's no place for me to go because I'm capped out there for. But I paid my dues. I know my job. I know my job very, very well.
Yeah.
But I don't know these other areas worth a shit. I've never done retail banking. I've never done credit cards. I've never done insurance or fraud. So I don't know those, but I know alarm monitoring, and I know service and that stuff, but I don't know these other areas, but they do. They've had a little knowledge of that. They don't know the whole picture
They don't have the
or a
whole
whole knowledge, but they got a little bit of pieces of everything. Like a jack of all trades gets it more than the specialist.
Yeah. True. You're
Okay.
right.
Basically is what it is telling me.
Yeah.
And I got butthurt over the whole deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm a little ticked off. So the business model isn't what I thought it was all these years.
No.
Yeah, I'm working hard towards this end goal. Is not an end goal. I got to move lateral now to another department or anything if I want to move up in the company. I'm not going anywhere in this department. Basically, is what they're telling me.
Yeah.
If you want to move up in the company, you got to get out of
You
this
gotta move
department.
around.
You got to move laterally.
Did
gotta
you want to
learn.
do that?
And that's what I told them. You got me for the next 10 years. I ain't going nowhere. I felt like I'm stuck now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm too old, and with my medical issues, I really can't be moving to other departments, learning a whole new job,
Yeah.
learning all brand new shit for a couple of years just to move laterally again and move it to another. I've been trying to learn this job for the last 10 years, and you guys keep changing shit up on me. I'm having to relearn this job every few years. So yeah, I've just figured, you know what?
Stay where you're at.
That's what I told him. I go, this is what I told my boss straight up. I go, look, I'm just going to keep my head down, focus on what I need to focus on. And for right now, that's me.
Yeah.
I need to focus on me and my health, focus on work second, I go, I will put my head down. I'm not going to volunteer for anything. Don't ask me to fucking do a lick of overtime. Don't ask me to do anything else extra. I'm going to do my fucking 8 hours. I will do those 8 hours to the best of my ability. Day in and day out. But that's all you're getting out of me.
What did he say?
He goes, I understand 100%. And I said, and that's just how I feel. I go, I may change later. But right now I'm butthurt. I felt like I've been just kicked. Felt like I was just kicked in the nuts. Thanks. I just got kicked in the nuts over this bullshit lady getting promoted now because she moved around and couldn't fucking fit in anywhere.
That's what it is.
You know, and was probably tattling on everybody around her and didn't like anybody and couldn't fucking fit in, instead of the person that you fit in and you accomplish stuff. You know me. You know what I mean? You know who I am. You know what my work ethic is. That ain't good enough for you. I'm not promotable material. I can understand that. I go, and then after all that, a week later, I get called into the office for a trivial thing on one of my documents. And yeah, you know, it's something, yeah, I did it. No big deal. I admit my mistakes, and yeah, I fucked up. Totally did this thing. Oh, big deal now. You're going to make a big deal. I'm like, you're going to make a big deal over this? Oh, yeah, yep. Management's involved. HR's not involved, but if they do get involved, we'll let you know. I'm like, I got the big picture now. First, I'm not promotable. Now I'm under the microscope. Obviously, I'm under the microscope now. This is a nothing thing. I go like, I'll take a copy of that, thank you. And I go, and if this does go to HR, you can damn sure bet I'm going to fight this fucking particular point.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, I fucked up. I did it. But this is nothing. I go, I've seen a whole lot worse on a daily basis. And I'll be happy to fucking voice that if I need to. You don't think I got dirt too? You want to play that shit? We can play that shit. You want to go to HR, bring HR involved? I'm sure they'd love to hear from me. I got 10 years of shit on this fucking department. All right, bring it on. And that's what I said. I will jump through your hoops. Whatever hoops you put out there that I need to jump through, I'll jump through your hoops. You want to put me on, and that's why I even involved. You want to put me on a PIP, which is a performance improvement plan, a write-up, basically. I go, you want to pip me out? I go right ahead. I go, but I'll go fight this one if it goes to that issue. He goes, very well noted, no problem, blah, blah, blah. Then, as soon as I get back to my desk, the next day and everything, you know, I tell my coworker, TJ, everything, blah, blah, blah. And she got an email that was accidentally sent to her. You know, copied. Chain copied all these people. Her name was accidentally put on the chain. Talking about her and me. You know, it was mostly about what was going on between, you know, they said like, these operators, blah, 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 blah. And the two fucking operators that give me the most hassle, that have the most attitude, and they put attitude in quotations, are TJ, which is her, and Richie.
You.
And I'm like, and she's like, just keep it under your hat. This is what they think about us. This is what they're talking about us behind our back. And I'm like, you know what, TJ? You didn't have to share that with me, and I really appreciate it. I go, I feel betrayed. And she goes, me too. I go like, I just feel like I've given this company. She's been with the company maybe 5 years.
Oh.
But the issue with TJ and I didn't like TJ at first. She's a lesbian. She's an older lesbian
You always
chick.
had problems with them.
I do. I can't. I don't know why lesbians and I don't get along.
I know.
But her and I have come to. We don't get along. But
You gotta understand
I respect her.
Yeah.
100% respect her. Her opinions. I will listen to what she has to say because, and that's what I told her. I go, I respect your point of view. I go, because I definitely don't have the same point of view. I'm a Trump guy. You're a liberal tard. You know what I mean? You're a snowflake. You're from California. Blah blah blah. Lesbian, 100%. I got it. We're different worlds. But I respect you as a person. I respect your opinion, and I will listen to you because you listen to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I do. That's what I do. I don't. We're not friends. We're coworkers. But I go. I really do admire you and respect your opinion.
What did she say?
And she says, "Wow." She goes, I know we've had our differences in the past, Richie. She goes, but she goes, she goes, I like you too, but that was heavy. She goes, thank you, I appreciate that. Wow. And I'm like, no, I go, I ain't pulling no punches. That's why I said, you know, with all this cancer shit, I'm telling people how it is.
Yeah.
And I go, that's personally how I feel about you. And when she shared this with me, I go, and I shared that with her before that she had shared that.
Yeah.
And I go, this is why I love you, TJ. I go, because as a person, we may have our differences, but as a person, I love you. Because you ain't afraid to share shit like this with me, because you know, she goes, just keep it under your hat. And she goes, I know you will. And I know, I know you trust me.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. That's what I said. I feel betrayed. She goes, so do I. I go like, this is how I know you trust me.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to share that with me because they were mostly talking about her. But they didn't include me lumped into everything they were talking about her. It was, and Richie. You know. And I'm like, I go, I'm sorry you're in the same boat with me. You know. But I go, she goes, well, two peas in a pod. I'm like, we're not the same type of people, though. But we do have that old school mentality.
You do. You know what? I remember the first lesbian that you had contact with was a Genetech. She didn't like you and you didn't like her. Do you remember that?
Yep. And then not only that, well, I've had lesbians I get along with.
Yeah.
But this one, come on in. Uh-oh, it's Kylie.
Oh,
Special guest Kylie.
She goes to Grandpa.
Mwah! I love you. Uh-oh.
The headband.
Uh-oh. It's for me.
That's for me.
It's for me.
He's taking your headband. Oh, that Grandpa.
Kiss Alma Norma.
Oh, I get a
Kiss Granny. Oh, we're doing video. You want to say hi?
Hi.
What a ham, huh? You want to come in?
This is our baby. Yeah.
This
our
is
baby.
Kylie, granddaughter of mine.
My great-granddaughter.
Huh?
Huh. Are you
Yep.
my great-granddaughter? Can you say great-granddaughter?
Or you got your dinosaur shirt on? Nice.
She looks pretty today, huh?
Every day she's very beautiful like her grandma.
Yeah, huh?
And your mommy, huh? Your mommy's pretty too, huh? You have pretty mommy?
And you know, Richard, I never ever had problems. Lesbian, gay, never had a problem. Linda didn't like them. Linda said, I said, you know, Linda, he had a brother. Did you feel that way about Richard? Oh no, he's my brother. I said, well, what difference does it make, Richard?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way Richard was. You accepted him. We all did. We
I
did a
never
long
thought
time
anything of it. That's what I tell
Yeah.
people anyway. I was around gay people before I even knew what gay people meant. You know,
Yeah.
I had two uncles. It
Yeah.
didn't affect me or bother me in any way. You know, the only weird thing about the whole thing is, for real, Mom, and I hate to say this, with Uncle Richard, and he had, it was Uncle Richard and Uncle Jim
Uh-huh.
in the 70s.
Huh?
But he switched Uncle Jim's on us in the middle there. We had another Uncle Jim, right? There was, the first Jim broke up, and then he
Yeah.
had another
Yeah.
lover that his name was Jim
Yeah.
too. And I can remember him like, okay, I understand you broke up with Uncle Jim.
No, we're gonna know.
But new Uncle Jim, I go, when he introduced himself, this is your Uncle Jim, or this is Jim. No, that's not Jim. That's not Jim. Oh,
Yeah.
Best Jam.
ah,
He died before Richard did.
yeah. Yeah.
That's why
Space
Linda
Jam.
and I didn't speak for you because when she buried Richard, she didn't bury him the way he
I
wanted
want
done, you know.
Ah.
He wanted to go out like we did with Jim's ashes. And Linda
Space Jam.
didn't want to do
I
that.
don't know if I have Space Jam, and maybe the old one.
She didn't want to spend the money
Here's the
to
Space
do that.
Jam.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because Richard paid for everything then, you know. Jim's doing everything, you know. And he,
Uh-oh. She wants attention.
oh no!
I think she wants attention.
And
Look,
then-
you
and
got a
then
belly.
some of the furniture,
Uh-oh.
the nice Richard,
See your belly.
the nice furniture Richard bought with that, what, thousands and thousands of dollars he got for
Yeah.
his insurance thing? She gave those away to the Goodwill. Why didn't she give them to me? I wanted
I
them.
would have took them too.
Yeah, the glass was about that thick.
Shannon would have taken them.
Yeah.
You know. Uh-oh. One little monkey jumping on the bed. One fell down and bumped her head. Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
This is what she comes to do. Huh?
Oh, she loves to jump on the bed, huh? Grandpa lets you jump, huh?
Yeah, I eat burgers.
You what?
Hamburgers.
You have hamburgers?
Yeah, eat it McDonald's.
Oh, nice. Did you think about Grandpa when you were eating hamburgers? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Grandpa likes hamburgers too.
I know that's what Benny said about. She always says that about you. She says, oh, she likes you. Oh, she just loves you. And she says,
I'm drinking higher.
Richard,
Careful, don't hit your head.
yeah, he likes hamburgers. Oh, yeah. You beat him. Hamburgers. So she's,
I hold it for you.
I think she wished she somehow between you and her, she wished you more than she would have.
Wow, you're really jumping high.
Wow. Be careful you don't fall.
It's not her I worry about falling. It was Xavier that fell.
Why?
He got too close to the edge and his foot went down,
Oh.
and it got caught in one of in the metal frame.
Oh.
And if he would have fell this way instead of this way, it would have broke his leg. And I was like, oh my God, I can only have one jumping at a time.
Yeah.
Because they were all three. And when Ezekiel, he's so big, when he does it, you know, he really gets it going.
Oh, yeah.
But letting her or Xavier jump, I have
Is
no
she the only one here with that too?
No, I can only handle one at a time, huh? Having fun? Do you like jumping? You watching yourself on the video jumping? I'm glad you have fun. Uh-huh.
She's getting tired. She got tired.
Oh no! You're going crazy! You're going crazy! So much energy.
Oh, she does.
Yep. Uh-oh. I thought it was a zombie
What kind
Kylie.
of match do you have on your bed?
Mattress. Just the one that came with it. Just the cheap mattress. I don't need anything. I don't sleep in here very often. The last few hours of the night, if any.
You know what that bedspread reminds me of?
It's not a bedspread, it's just a
Just that thing. The XIT.
Oh, that big,
That my waterbed bedspread. The big one.
yeah, that big heavy one. I love that thing too.
Yeah. That was heavy.
That with the waterbed, with the warmth of the waterbed, yeah, I loved it. That was
Yeah.
good. Wow, you're really jumping. Wow, Kylie, look at your legs. Look how high. Wow, your head is disappearing in the screen. Oh, you tired? You know what Grandma's gonna say? Oh, no. Oh no, Kylie's sweating. You need to take her home to shower. You ready to go home?
No!
Okay, just checking. Do you love me?
I love you.
I love you too.
I will jump to bed again.
Okay.
You can jump on your bed again,
Mine's the best for jumping, huh?
like a trampoline.
Yep. Look how high.
Dang, boy, you
Wow.
go high.
Wow, maybe you should join Olympics. Huh?
I watched them swimming, the bar. I totally enjoyed it.
The Olympics?
Yeah, and I watched when two dived into the water. I mean, you couldn't even, they were just so perfect. And the United States won. Australia came in last. And, no, Germany.
Whoa.
Germany came in last. Even though the silver, gold, silver, bronze, they got the bronze. They were so happy. Oh no, I'm excited. that they won. What are you doing?
Crazy?
Are you playing at it?
Yep, I think she's a crazy girl.
She hasn't lost any.
Or maybe a monkey. Are you a monkey?
No.
Where's your tail if you're a monkey?
What's Grandpa doing?
Oh, that's my unicorn. Wow, look how high. Look, your head is disappearing. Wow.
Sometimes I need to rest.
Yeah. Here, do you want me to turn this fan on?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can jump some more. Better?
I got a white one like that that Linda gave me. Yours is like mine, it's quiet. Two of my favorite movies are coming on tonight, Richard.
What's that?
Magnificent Seven and The Return of the Magnificent Seven. I see
Is that the
them.
new ones
so
or
much. No, they're the old ones.
the old ones?
I
Okay.
like them. I think they're black and white. And they put some color to them. Oh,
There's the
no.
new Magnificent Seven too.
Huh?
There's the new Magnificent Seven.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Check it out on Netflix maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Boy, that damn Netflix, it hit their money up, boom, just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone. I wanted to change the date. They have to go on the computer to.
Wow. You're really jumping a lot today, huh? Do you have a lot of energy?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Which one did she pick? Yep, exactly.
I just higher.
She does what?
She jumps higher.
Oh, show Grandma. Oh, look at that.
See? What did I tell you?
But you're gonna break it.
Okay.
It's an air mattress?
No.
That's not Luke, is it? No, it's got a little girl with him.
It's okay. You can jump on it when Grandma's not around. Okay? Anytime I'm here and I'm with you, you can do it anytime because you're Grandpa's girl.
No. I'm jumping down.
Okay. Wow. You go a lot higher when you're by yourself, huh?
He's watching himself on TV.
Yeah. She's a ham, I'm telling you.
Oh no, Richard. Be careful.
Try
baby.
again.
Fun.
Fun times? Can you do cheer? Like your cheerleader?
Okay.
Nice.
I want to watch
That
it
guy has.
and jump.
You want to what?
I want to watch the moon.
Oh, okay. Well, here. You jump and I do a videotape of you jumping then. Hang on. Don't jump yet. Let me get the camera going. And I take a picture of you on the phone and then you can also watch it on there also later. Oh, wait. I have to do video. Wow, you're really jumping.
Yeah!
Uh-oh.
We're going with to Auntie May. We're going with Auntie May.
Uh-oh.
You wanna go? Going to the store.
Oh no. I want to dance.
No, we're gonna go. Me, you, and Auntie May to the store. You want that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here, take this. And if you get an LOL, let me know.
I'll get the LOL too.
Oh, you wet. Come on, let's change your diaper.
Uh-oh, you're wet and you were jumping on my bed? Oh, no!
She's She'll argue back.
Oh, she's everything to me right now, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
She is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Oh, the floor is ice! We do the floor is lava. And you have to put your feet up, you know.
Yeah. She goes along with whatever you say.
Oh yeah, we
She does.
have fun.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is you have to engage in them and pay attention to them.
And not
Notice when
discipline
you and I were just talking, how she was struggling to get my attention.
Yeah.
So, but I like that about her.
Oh, you heard Grandpa. She's known you since she was born.
Yeah.
From Patterson, like Stephanie.
Well, even Ezekiel is, you know, me and Daddy Fred are the only grandpas she's known.
Uh-huh.
You know,
What about, what's his name?
Fred,
No.
Jude,
The two of you never
Jude. Oh yeah,
did it.
oh yeah. They know who their dad is.
Okay.
Even she does. I don't hide that from her either
Yeah.
because I'm sorry. If you ask me, I'm not gonna tell her that Gus is her dad. That's
No,
not true.
he's not.
If she wants to call Gus her dad, that's up to her.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me who your dad is, no, I'm gonna tell you the truth and say it's Jude.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to see a picture of your dad, I happen to have pictures of your dad.
Oh, you do?
Oh
Well,
yeah, I
that's
have
nice.
pictures of her dad. I got pictures of her dad holding her. He's in family pictures and stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not gonna hide the truth from anybody.
No.
And,
No.
and especially from children like that. They have a right to know who their real dad is.
Did they call him?
Who?
Boys do.
Gus?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know.
I don't think so. I think they should call him by his first name.
Yeah.
It's just like whenever I met Aurora's daughters. I met May first, and that's, you know, she asked, she goes, "Do you want me to call you Dad?" I'm like, "I'm not your dad." I go, "I may be your stepdad." I go, "But you don't have to call me Dad." I go, "My name is Richard. Richie? If you want to call me Richie, Richard, I don't care.
So
If
she
you
said,
feel like you want to call me Dad, reference me as your dad, I'm cool with that too."
what she said.
She says, "Okay."
What she call you?
They call me Richard.
They call you
Yeah,
Richard.
and I think I've told Melody and Michelle both pretty much the same thing. With May, we had we were in Vegas together. Is where I met May
Oh, yeah?
in Vegas, and it's the first time that I actually I don't know how it is, but I think we were at the casino together, and I was like, "I don't gamble." She's like, "I don't gamble either." I go like, you know, basically I just kind of sit here and sit on my phone. She's like, okay, well, I guess we'll just sit here together, get to know each other. I'm like, I'm good with that. So we sat down, we had a drink, and I think we ate something, and it had like 2 hours just to sit and chit chat. She told me about herself. I told her about how I met her mom and the whole thing, and
Yeah.
you know, and
You met her online, huh?
yeah, on a dating site called Tagged, which it started off by just you didn't even see a picture of him. It was just your letter R. Like for me, it was a letter R, and for her, it was just a letter A. And you just put tags out there of things you like to do.
Yeah.
And so for me, I put stuff like photography, hiking, motorcycles, Arizona, you know, just tags.
Yeah.
And then you see whose tags match you and what you have in common with other people. And then later on, then you can post pictures. You know, they
Oh,
upgrade it.
really?
You put a picture of yourself up there instead of just your letter.
Did this
So-
cost you money?
No, it was all free,
Oh.
like Facebook.
Oh.
You know, it was way before Facebook. And then so, you know, you put your picture up there, and then they got, oh, well, put your bio up there now. You can put a little bit of story about yourself, and you did that. And it just evolved from that, you know. So whenever I found her, is because some of our tags matched. Were like Arizona,
Yeah.
family values. I said I'm very family oriented. I go because I want people around me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be alone. If I don't mind being alone. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer to have people around me. So
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
as I
that
said,
way.
I'm
Yeah.
family oriented. I have a daughter. You know, divorced, that whole bit. And I think those are the things that match. Divorced, Arizona, daughters,
Yeah.
you know, and there's some of the things that didn't match were like the hiking and motorcycles. We didn't match on. But I figured, you know, what the hell. And then when she posted a picture, I saw her and I was like, you can send an instant message back and forth.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I saw her picture. I'm like, hi. I noticed we matched on a couple of things. I'm Richard, and I sent like a wave tag thing. Hi,
Yeah.
you know, and she probably got like maybe thousands of guys that did that for her, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, how I got her attention was I had sent her a picture of myself, you know, through this messaging thing. Sent her a picture of myself, and she goes like, "Is that what you look like right now? I'd like to see what you look like right now." I mean, you know, because pictures can be deceiving.
Yeah.
And I go like, "Yeah, I'm not sure, no problem." So I snapped a picture of myself. I was sitting in the car outside someplace. Snapped a picture of myself. I said, "Yeah, I'm sitting in the car." Blah blah blah. Boom. Snapped a picture of myself. Boom. Sent it off to her, and she's like, "Oh, you're very good looking." She goes, "Yeah. Sure, send me more pictures and maybe we can hook up and meet. Let me get to know you a little better." And that's how it kind of started and snowballed. I think we chatted for like 3 months.
Wow.
And then I said, you know, she says, "Oh, I'm meeting my daughter at the mall." I go, at the mall? Which mall? I go, "Well, what mall is it? I'll ride over there and meet you. You know, I'll finally get to meet you face to face."
Yeah.
I go, in fact, I'll do one better. Let me take you to lunch. You know, I go, you pick a spot there at whatever mall you're going to, the mall, I figured she'd pick one of those at the food court.
Yeah.
Pick a restaurant, you know, at the mall. I'll buy you lunch. You know, how basic of that is that for a first date?
Yeah.
And so she goes, "Okay, I'll meet you at the Rainbow Forest Cafe at the mall in Tempe." Perfect. What time? Yeah, I think it was like 12:30. I get there at 12.
Jackie.
You know, so that I can scope out the area and so that I want to be the one there first. I don't want to be the one walking in to
Yeah.
the situation. You know what I mean? I want to have the way I had it figured was, even if nothing is planned, I want to be there first so that when she walks in, it looks like I'm ready, prepared, and nothing. I don't want her waiting for me.
Yeah.
That's a power move.
Yeah.
If you're waiting for me, I have the power because you're waiting for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's a power. That's the moves I use at work. When that dyke boss of mine wanted to have a meeting with me, and
Is it Dyke?
my dyke boss, the bitch dyke that I worked for at Genentech,
Oh, yeah.
she would want to have a meeting with me. I would pull the power moves, and the power moves are, I would go to her office, she's not there. I would leave until she's there. When I walk by her, I would leave, go
didn't
get
wait.
a cup. No, I'm not waiting for her. And that's what her. She was pulling the same moves. She would walk by her office and not see me there, and go do something else. I would go get a drink of water, grab a cup of coffee, use the restroom. You know, I needed to grab a pen and paper. I might need to take notes for our meeting. You know, any little thing to make you wait for me. Boom. And I knew we were playing the same game. Whenever I passed by her office, she wasn't there. And I turn around, I diddle around, I make like a circle, I come back around. I see her walking away from the same office that she just passed, that I wasn't in there waiting for her. Thing, we're playing the same game. She's the supervisor. I need to get in. So I go into the office to wait for her at that point. But here at Chase, they haven't had that training. They don't know these power moves or these games that people play in upper corporate businesses,
Yeah.
Fortune 500 companies, little stupid games that office people play, but they're mental games. They're power moves and shit.
You see him on TV on the detective shows.
But here at Chase, they don't play that. At Genentech, I could tell if I was going to be reprimanded or rewarded by the way the room was set up when I walked into the meeting.
Really?
Yeah, if there's a table between you and he's on this side and you're on this side, I'm being reprimanded. If it's no barrier and the tables are the situation is set up where I'm not seated near the door, because you set the person near the door when you're going to fire them, terminate them, reprimand them, so that they don't feel trapped. You want them by the door so that they can leave easily if they feel uncomfortable or feel threatened.
Huh.
If I trap you in the room, you're being promoted. If you walk into the room and you're sitting they sit you in the corner, it's your birthday. It's a celebration. It's a reward.
Wow.
It's not a punishment. If you're sitting by the door and they're sitting in the corners, and especially if there's a third chair off to the side that is reviewing or recording the interaction between the two parties, that's the worst.
I haven't even done that.
Oh, this is all management. This is all management courses they give you at Genentech when I went there, and we're going through the management courses. You know, because you could just sign up for these courses and they'll free education. So I signed up for courses all the time. Not only that, I got paid for it. I signed up for these courses. I go in on my day off. I get paid for that time that I'm on site learning about these courses, and they're 5-hour course, 8-hour course, a lot of these different courses. But anyway, they don't know how these things work at Chase. So no, it's just that they're not taught this stuff. So whenever I go into a meeting at Chase, since they don't play those games, I don't know if I'm being reprimanded or rewarded when I walk into a meeting. But the things I can use are the wait thing. Yeah. When I walk in, so my favorite thing is I'll meet you in the huddle room, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm working. Even though it's time and I know he's not in there and it's time for me to go in there, I'm still going to pull another alarm. I'm still going to answer another phone call until he's waiting for me.
Yeah.
Then I can say, oh, hold on, you're waiting for me. You sit there and wait. Like a bitch. You wait. Like a dog, you're sitting there. You waiting for your master to come to you.
That's your mentality.
Exactly. And that's how I walk into the room. like, hello, I'm here now. We can begin. Because you have been waiting for me.
What do they say to this? Nothing.
Oh, this is all nonverbal. I don't ever come into the office and say that shit.
Just up there.
It's up here in my head, and that's my mentality when I walk into the room.
What do they do? Anything?
No, they don't understand these. They don't understand these dynamics of gameplay like that. So to them, they're completely oblivious. But if I was to do this kind of stuff at Genentech,
They would know.
everybody would know what's going on, and you know what I mean. The dynamics. Everybody is like on an upper level there.
Yeah.
We know the game. We know the situation. It's a pen and pencil test. I did this to TJ just the other day. I walked in and I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm proud of myself. I just passed the pen and pencil test. To her, that meant a whole different thing than what it meant to me. To TJ, the lesbian girl I sit next to. And she laughed and giggled, and I'm like, all right, you didn't get it. And I know I was above her head. So later on in the day, and I'm like, so TJ, we had some downtime. I'm like, TJ, did you understand the pencil test? I go, you giggled. What does it mean to you? She goes, well, when you said the pen and pencil test, it means it was a sexual thing about a gay man that does this with his gay partner, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, because she's lesbian, she picked up on those innuendos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you for sharing that with me, because now I'll be more aware of who I say that to, you know, the pen and pencil test thing to. But I go, but not only that, it means something totally different to me, and I had no clue it had anything to do with this gay dude doing whatever with his partner, you know? And so I'm like, all right, so that was totally oblivious to me. She goes, so what's the pen and pencil test? I go, well, basically there was a pen on the floor when I came back from break. There was a pen on the floor, I simply picked it up and put it on the counter. She goes, and what's the rest of the story? I'm like, well, the pen and pencil test is, where I used to work is they used to do these types of psychological tests. They'll put a piece of paper on the floor, a pen, a piece of trash, or anything like that. The boss will totally set it up and put it there on purpose. And then sit in his office and
Watch.
call you in. Bobby, come on into the office. Bobby will either stop to pick up the pen, the piece of paper, or trash, whatever item is on his, you know, they'll purposely put it in the way of you. You either have to step over it or pick it up, basically. Are you going to take the time to pick it up, clean up your workplace, your workspace, have a little pride in your job and in what you do? Or are you just going to step over and be oblivious to it and not give a shit? Are you going to step right on it, maybe you're going to put your footprint on that piece of paper, break that pencil? You know, what are you going to do? You got 3 or 4 different choices of the action you can take, you know. And taking no action is still taking an action.
Yeah.
All right? So if you choose to do nothing, you still have chosen not to do nothing, and that's part of this test. So the correct response is to obviously pick up what is in the way. Pick up after your coworker. Pick up after yourself. There's a basic pride in your workplace type of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that, or do you lack that? And you may have lacked that 6 months ago, but then once we brought that to your attention, blah, 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 that these types of tests that we fuck with you with, are you going to remember that we're fucking with you on these types of tests? I mean, it really doesn't affect your performance or anything. Oh, I do all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, I pick up stupid shit even today, and that's why I told TJ. We did that pen and pencil test back in the 80s at Genentech. Stupid shit like that, you know.
What did she say?
And I go, and it's still ingrained in me today that I still do it, and I'm still conscious of what is going on in the workplace regarding this issue. She's like, what fucking kind of place did you work for?
You know, you're talking about having pride in your workplace. Let me tell you about your dad. It took me totally shocked. Do you remember when he kept that little computer room away?
Oh yeah, horribly.
Do you ever go to his office when he worked up there?
Franklin?
No, here in Phoenix,
Oh.
workplace.
At USBI?
Yes.
Yep.
Did you ever go into his office, little office space?
Oh yeah.
What did it look like?
I worked with him there.
Did you?
Yeah, his office space is really almost perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, his home life is not the same as his.
Was not. When I went there to go get him, pick him up for lunch or take him to lunch, and I looked at his work spot, his workspace like yours,
Yeah, it's cube.
it was so neat. I thought, Dick, you keep it like this all the time? Yeah, I work here. And I felt like saying, well, your home life isn't like that, and you live there. That, I just figured that's how he did it there, and that's how he was comfortable with it there.
Right.
He was so messy. Can you still? And Shannon was the same way, messy. I cannot understand how they could.
Well, I don't think I'm a messy man. I may be dusty. I don't like to really dust. Things may get dusty.
Yeah.
But I don't think dust is dirt.
No.
I mean, to a point. If it gets an inch of dust, yeah, that's dirt. But,
Yeah.
like my cars right now, they're pretty dusty.
I was looking at that. Yeah, I was going to say you need a
And, well, no, I have the glass to put in front of them, but I don't really want to bring it over in storage. And if I bring them over and put them up there, it kind of distorts the view.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. And you even put it in the right spot. Thank you.
That's where she got it from.
Yeah. I told you that's her favorite one.
She
The
was
pink
right
one.
for it, huh? You got the other one, good.
And the super cool thing is, I keep the racetrack right there in the closet. And they have no problem coming over here, grabbing a car, and we have our rules. You can grab 4 or 5 cars. You can't take a whole lot of them and put them down there. You can take a handful, put them down. They're the ones you're going to play with for the
Yeah.
day. She'll get up there, pull a racetrack out by herself, put it down here, set it up, and just race.
It's
And-
nice that they're comfortable.
Yeah, and that's what I told her. I go, like, you know what? I have my guns and stuff in here too. And I told him, I go, you, if I'm here, you can get anything you want to do. You just let me know. If you have a question, ask me.
Yeah.
If not, feel free. And they're like, thanks, Grandpa.
They're going to remember that when they get older, though, Richard.
I hope so, Mama.
Look at Stephanie. We spoiled her so badly. We did. And she tells me, I spoiled Grandma.
She still is.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, I'm still spoiled. She says, Tyler does everything that she wants. I says, well, he should. And you should for him, too.
Yep, there should be a mutual respect.
Mhm. They'll put her legs up so high when you say that. Look at
See how she lifts her legs.
it. Yeah. Calm down. Well, her mom
And
came to wash her
grandma's
face.
right there with, yeah.
I understand that.
See, for me, I go like, yeah, have fun, do it. And Aurora's like, what are you doing, letting them jump on the bed? Oh, don't do it. So I said, when Grandma's around, there's no jumping on the bed. Like Ezekiel, he comes over. Our thing, me and Ezekiel's thing, when he comes over, Grandpa, can I watch scary movies?
Oh.
Sure. You pick them, and I'll watch them with you. And if I think there's anything inappropriate or too scary or too demented or deranged or sick, then I'll step in.
Uh-huh.
But he doesn't. He watches the stupid stuff on there's these YouTube channels where this kid's like, these are the top 10 scariest videos on the internet. And let me explain them to you. He has this really monotone voice.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel loves it. And the scary videos he shows, they're not like super horror.
Yeah.
There's no guts and blood, and it's not terrorizing. So I let him watch those. I'm like, yeah, That's cool. That's almost the most perfect thing you could have picked, if you want to be scared movies, you know.
I watch scary movies on my iPhone at night time. They make me so angry. And it says, if you don't hit the like button and the subscribe button, they're going to be this tarantula or something's going to crawl on you at night. I put in comments, I don't need to be threatened to watch your videos. I don't watch them anyway.
They do it for likes, Mom.
I know they do it so you go. I don't even know what happens when you hit the button like and subscribe. I did yours, but I didn't know what it did for you, Dale.
Oh, for me, it actually boosts the algorithms on the channel. I got like 50-something subscribers now, and like today, whenever I did a live broadcast this morning, people comment and join in, and I have a couple of people from the UK. I got a diehard kid in California this morning. I introduced him to Chris last week, and Chris and him played last night until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
Okay, I got off last night a little after midnight, and it was a late night for me. I get off usually at 10 or 11. So midnight was a late night for me, and that's why I told Chris, I go like, I got to go to bed because I like to get up at my normal regular time and keep my head schedule right.
Yeah, you just like, you're on the system.
And I get up automatically anyway. And I go, if I go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll sleep till 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And I go, and I want to get up in the morning and do my live stream because I like to live stream in the early mornings.
Yeah.
And he says, all right, man, I'll catch you in the morning. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went to bed at midnight, a little after midnight, 12:30 or so. But I was up at 6 o'clock. And I was like, I should jump online and do my Red Dead thing. I'm like, he was on late last night. He's probably not going to be up until 10, 11 o'clock anyway. So I piddled around and watched some other videos this morning. But I jumped on about 8 o'clock. Well, about 7 o'clock. I jumped on, did a live thing. And as I'm starting to do my live video and all, I haven't hit broadcast yet. Chris jumps in and goes, oh, hey, I'm still on from last night.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, oh, my God, dude, you've been playing. Since we were playing last night, we started like 8 o'clock, so you've been playing for 12 hours. So I checked to see what level he's leveled a couple of times already throughout the night. I'm like,
he likes leveling.
Wow, dude, you're really moving up. You know, he's Mom. He's probably one of the best Red Dead players as far as leveling it up that I know. You know, he's moving through the game.
You really got him in there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I help him, and he helps me too.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, he knows more about the game than I do, and I think he's into it a little bit more than I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'll play the game, but I just mosey around. I mean, I'm a high enough level. I'm about to push 500. That's what my YouTube theme is. Join me on my quest to level 500. You know, and I'm at like 496.
Wow.
So, but I'm level 496. I have $250,000 in Red Dead money, cash, on hand, and I have 800 and something gold bars. And the things they were putting out for mansions that you could buy in the future, those are going to be the most expensive thing they had, 600 gold bars. So I'm like, I could buy the most expensive thing in the game that hasn't even been put in the game yet, that they have planned for the game,
yeah,
and still have money left over. So I'm sitting pretty, and that's why I told my YouTube viewers, for me, I'm not out here to level up any quick, very, very fast. You know, I'm not trying to do any glitches to level up fast. I'm not out here to make a lot of money. I got money. I'm a high level. I'm here to mosey around. I'm here to help you if you need help. Or I'm here to grief those players that shoot me first. If you're a low level player, you shoot like these for instance, last night it was funny. And I don't even have it on video, but last night Chris and I were playing. And when we're in our griefing mode, and griefing means I'm just going to kill everybody. I don't care what level you are. I'm level 469, You could be level 10. I'm still gonna kill you because I don't care. I'm an outlaw. I'm a bad man in the game, you know.
Yeah.
So, and that's the persona. For me, I kill red dots. My whole thing is I'm neutral. If I ride by another player, I'm not just gonna come right out and start blasting away, shooting at you, just because you're another real life player like me.
Yeah.
I could really care less what you're doing and what's going on. I figure you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. You leave me alone, I'm going to leave you alone. So when I'm playing, I don't really go after people.
Yeah.
Unless I'm with Chris and we're in this briefing mode or something. But usually my usual gameplay is I'll do me, leave you the fuck alone. I may troll you, and how I will troll people is, you know, I'm a high level. I'll just go into the most dangerous city there in the Red Dead where all the shootouts happen. You know, all the low levels are there.
What are you doing there?
Well, that's where they spawn in there to start the game. That's where you start the game and you start to play and you start. The first thing cowboy wants to do, shoot other people, get a bounty put on their head, get the lawman coming, and boom, 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 shoot lawman. Well, when they do that, they rack up every lawman you kill. You get a little bit of money added to your bounty.
Oh, I see.
So what I'll do is I will go into Valentine, and as a high level, I will grab a drink from the bar. I'll either sit in the bar or I'll walk out onto the street and sit out on the bench on the street and watch what's going on. You've seen me do that on some of my videos. And I'll sit there and I'll wait for these low levels to come by, and they'll think, oh, here's another real player. He must be away from his keyboard. He's just sitting there. Nope. I'm sitting there like this with my thing ready for you to do something. You know, you pull your gun, I'm quicker because I'm a quick draw.
Yeah.
So I can quick draw you and kill you by the time you pull your guns and shoot at me. Or sometimes if you pull your guns, start shooting at me, depending on the gun you have, if you're a really low level, and I know what level you are because I've already identified you as you spawned in and I saw your blue dot on the screen.
Yeah.
So if you're a real low level, 7, 10, 20 or lower, and you shoot me with the gun that they first give you in the game, to kill me, you're going to have to shoot me 4 or 5 times to kill me, unless you shoot me in the head.
Yeah.
You shoot me right in the face, I'm going to die. But you shoot me in the body like they're just shooting. And it's going to look like I'm Superman because I can take 3 or 4 shots of yours.
Yeah.
Well, if I drink a potion and tonic up, I could take maybe 8 shots.
Oh my gosh.
If I eat a special food that I've prepared and made with the spicy stuff to increase my health, I could take 10 to 12 of those shots, not to the head but to the body. Boom, 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 boom. Why is this guy not dying?
Yeah.
So I look like Superman. So if you're a higher level, I'll tonic up before I sit down and troll you to shoot me.
Yeah.
You shoot me first, disrespect me in any way. I have some players that just come up and flip me off. I'm just sitting there. I'm not doing nothing to you. Why are you messing with me?
Yeah.
I had one player that came up, and it was a slow day. Nobody was messing with me. And he spit in front of me. And I got on the mic. I'm like, spit on my boot again, you're going to have trouble, mister. You know? And he walked away, nothing happened. But, you know, it's just little things like that I will...
You startled him.
Yeah, I could have got up and just killed him, you know, straight away. But I was in a generous mood that day. But usually people will come by, they'll see another player sitting there, they'll ride by on their horse and start shooting, blah, 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 blah. And I'll just pop right up and poof, you're dead. You didn't see what level I was. You're a really low level. You're messing with a high level, buddy.
You
know
like
what
that,
I mean? Yeah, you're messing with the wrong guy. That's what I tell them in the videos. You don't mess with the wrong fella. You don't mess with the wrong posse. That's what I did this morning. There was 3 of us on one guy, and he would not give up. He was on a mission doing his little thing, and it pops up on my map. Oh, you get extra points if you go fuck up this guy's mission. And I'm like, all right. There's 3 of us, 1 of him, 1 guy guarding 2 wagons this morning. And I may play you the video later. It was pretty funny. And so one guy guarding 2 wagons, it pops up on my screen. I'm like, oh, hey, we got a couple of red dots over here. I'm a red dot killer. And he comes over. I'm like, looks like he's got running 2 wagons. You know, he's running the 2 wagons. So I level check him. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I can't remember what level it was. Like 37, pretty low level.
Wow.
I'm like, all right, I got a low level here. Easy pickings. This is easy pickings. Let's go steal his shit. So I just load up. I start running that way. Posse leader's right behind me. He starts running that way. And the posse leaders are very low level at, or maybe I was the posse leader at that time. I can't remember. But anyway, I go over. I pop the guy. Boom. He's got 3 people watching the wagons with him. I pop those 3 guys. They're dead. He's the only real player. He starts shooting back at me. I finally kill him after he shoots me because I drank a bunch of things, so I took a bunch of his shots.
Yeah. And
I finally kill him. I jump up on his wagon to steal it, and Chris is like, comes up, and he kills the horses. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You just killed. I was going to steal it and turn it in rather than destroy it.
Yeah.
But our mission is to destroy the wagon. And he's like, stick to the mission. The mission is to destroy it,
That's
not
Chris.
to steal it. I'm like, all right. No, I say the same thing to him too. It goes both ways, and we check each other like that, which I am 100% for it. I like that about him. You know, when
Yeah.
I start getting out of hand, he pulls me back in. Same with him. I'm like, focus on the red dot. You know, because we get too much shit going at a time, and then we have to leave, and it makes us feel like losers.
Yeah.
Our whole goal is to make them leave.
Yeah.
You're messing with the high levels. You started it, because usually I'm broadcasting, and I can always go back and say, sorry, you shot me first. You initiated this contact. I was just sitting there minding my own business like I'm just a normal guy, and you came up and shot me. You know, and of course I play that all the time. That's my gig. That's what I do. I'm just a friendly player. And if you're really friendly back to me, after I finish fucking you up and running you from the server, if you don't leave, if you apologize, that's really all you have to do is simply apologize. You can join our posse. We can make you some money. We'll level you up too. And we'll even be your friend.
But then they say yes.
A lot of them do. It's
Really?
about 50-50 to be honest. We had another guy the other night that was like, I'm like, you know what? You see, and he was cool. I mean, his banter back and forth, when I get on, I talk some shit. And you can tell I'm really frustrated, and my key phrase, if I'm upset and you hear me say this, and I've said it 3 or 4 times in some of my videos, hopefully you've never heard it. But if I ever say to the player, do you suck your dad's dick with that mouth?
Richard.
If I say that, I'm very upset at that point. You done got stuck in my craw, and that's what I tell them. Oh, you done got stuck in my craw. What that means is, I'm not giving up. I will kill you as many times as I can. You may kill me a couple times, but I'm not stopping, and I have all night. I'm a higher level. I got better ammo, and I know the game. You want to continue? This is what I do all day long. Let's dance, you know, and that's what I say. Let's go for it. Let's dance, and some of them will stick with us. Boom, boom, boom. This kid today, 3 of us were killing him over and over and over. I really couldn't tell you how many times, and he finally left.
Did he?
My favorite brief, my favorite one-on-one brief was this. Was one kid. He was a level 7. And he's very low level, and he came into the thing, and I'm sitting on the bench in Valentine, and he shoots me, boom, and I'm like, all right, buddy, you know what the fuck? Did you not see how level at the time? It was like 400, almost 400.
Do they see your level or they don't?
Oh, some of you can check it. If I look at you, you're just a blue dot. I know you're just a player. You're a blue dot. I don't mess with you. If a blue dot, 2 blue dots meet, you're a blue dot. I'm a blue dot. If you shoot at me, or if we run into each other, which happens a lot, we both turn red because we're synchronized aggro. If you shoot at me, if I see you and I shoot at you, to you I turn red because I am aggravated. I've been identified as the aggressor. I'm
Yeah.
being aggressive to you because I shot you. You know what I mean? Or I punched you or whatever it is, ran into you. I'm the aggressor. So you turn red to me as the person being aggressed upon. I turn red to you and you turn red to me. So together we turn red to each other. For me, my whole thing is I kill red dots because you have been aggressive to me at some point. If I come up to you and I just shoot you for no reason and run off into the sunset, you're still blue to me. If I shoot you 5 times and run off and you don't shoot me and I run off into the sunset and later on in the game we come across each other, I don't know that you're the same blue dot that I shot before from these other blue dots. I have no idea who you are unless I've level checked you and I've seen, oh, this is Norma. She's a level 75. Boom. I either messed with you or I didn't, but I'll remember, yeah, you know, you were cool when we were doing this. You didn't shoot me before. And I level check everybody when I do this.
Oh, do you?
Oh, everybody, because just the other day, I had this guy that I just joined up with in my posse. He's a young kid. He likes to shoot grief. No problem. You're a griefer. That's your thing. If you're the posse leader, I'll join up with you, and I'll follow your lead. If you're a griefer, I'll grief too. Now you're a level 18 griefer with a level 400 backup. People ain't gonna mess with you, level 18 griefer, because you got me as your backup. So of course he wants to be my friend and let me help him.
Yeah.
So he goes around. What's the first thing he does? I tell him, I'm like, look, yeah, we're in a pretty good lobby. You got 2 level 12s. You got a level 27. You got a level 4. He just entered the game at level 4. There's your target. What does he do? He shoots the next red dot or blue dot that he sees riding past him on the road. Level 400.
Ah.
I'm like, dude, are you stupid? I just told you what your choices were. You know, I go, but you're the posse leader. I'm your posse member. I have to support my posse leader. So I will go kill this level 400 on your behalf. I go, but I'm not very good at PvP. Okay, that's why I pick on the lower levels, because I'm really not that good.
Yeah.
I'm not bad, but I'm not good enough to where I go into the showdown missions where you just play with other real players fighting back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm in the open world environment where I hunt, fish, and interact with other players. So he's like, oh, well, we'll just leave. I'm like, no. We don't just leave. That's part of our posse mandate is we don't leave. They leave. We don't give up unless we're completely outclassed, outgunned. If they're modding or, you know, if they're using cheats, codes,
Yeah.
and things like that, then of course I'm not going to play like that. Or if they're just downright too fucking good and kicking my ass, I'm not going to sit here and get my ass kicked for very long. I mean, I don't mind putting up a fight and all, but if they kill me 10 times in a row, over and over and over again, and I don't feel like I'm getting any kickback, or I'm not killing them back,
Yeah.
I'm not going to stick around for that, you know. If I don't have the upper hand, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here to win. So he's like, all right, I can play by those rules. So I kill this level 400 over and over again. He finally leaves. I'm like, dude, from now on, if you're playing with me, do not pick up fucking 400 level shit. All right? He seems to be a really cool guy. His name's Cole. He's been with the posse now for about a week.
Okay.
And he's a young, and that's why I call him a young Chris, because he's a griefer. He's not interested in really leveling up. He's not really interested in making money or doing missions or playing the game. He wants to just kill other players outright, you know. And I can understand that. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's an aspect of the game, and if that's what you want to do, I can totally understand that. I go, like for me, I used to like to fish. I don't fish much anymore, but that was one of the things when the game first started and there weren't all these missions and all these other things to do. We ended up just having to fish for, most of the day. You catch the fish, just sell them. That's how we had to make money back in the day. Now we can do these missions and interact and do all this other fun stuff. That's why I said I don't do much fishing anymore. Same thing with you. This is going to get old for you. When it does, let me know. I'll let you do the missions and shit with us. But if you just want to sit there and grief all day, that's cool with me too.
It's a downright killer, huh?
Some people are like that, Mom. For me, and that's the thing with me is, like that level 7 that I was griefing, he rolls up, boom, 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 killed ya. Alright, buddy. And that's why I said, obviously you didn't level check me. I chase you down, boom, kill you. I wait for you to respawn, I see where you are on my map, and I run right towards you. And before you have a chance to tonic up, take anything and eat anything to build up your stamina, I'm already on top of you. If I have my fast horse, I can run right towards you and kill you either with my shotguns, because I have double barrel shotgun pistols. I run up on you, 2 barrels here, 2 barrels here, you're dead.
You're gone.
I don't, if you are tonicked up 100%, that is not going to kill you. It'll knock you down, but I would have to have explosive rounds or incendiaries to keep you down and blast you another 4 times. So lower levels are what I would go for. If you're over level 100, you have access to everything. So to me, it doesn't matter if you're level 100 or level 1000, which is the cap.
Yeah.
There's not too many 1000s. I saw an
Yeah.
800 or something this morning.
Wow.
I saw a 600 something last night. But those are far and few between. And a couple of my old posse members, they're high levels too.
Are they? What level was Chris?
300 and something.
Wow.
He has been an amazing mom. That's what I told him. You got in at the right time. They had just fixed all the animals where they started to spawn again. Before we used to have to start a mission, abandon the mission, and then just hunt while the timer's clicking on the mission. And then we got the mission would fail the mission, but you got all these animals that you could hunt and save to sell and make money, which is more money than you can make from doing the mission. And that's how you justify doing that. And but now they fixed all that. Everything was fixed. They fixed all the bugs. The game was working 98% good. There's still some bugs and shit that are fucked up, but nothing major anymore. All the animals are spawning again. All the birds are flying. There's hundreds of birds now. And that's what I told them. You got in at the right time. Just as all that was fixed and they introduced additional missions, you jumped in. Then they introduced the trader and the moonshine stuff back to back, and he got in on the ground floor of that. I helped him get all, because I had already done it.
Yeah.
So when he joined, he was able to buy that package, and I was able to help him complete that portion of it, which to him set him up, and it did. It set him up, but he's actually ran farther than that with it.
Wow.
I may have helped him at the beginning, but now it's a mutual thing. I help him just as much as he helps me, if not more. If not more.
He really likes you.
Well, we help each other, Mom, and we have the same mentality too.
Yeah.
He may be more of a griefer and killing the lower level players, and he has no remorse. One time, the horror story I will tell you of Chris is this one, and this one's on video. So, but not all the words are there. But my side of the story is there, so you'll just have, if you watch the video, you'll see it. But anyway, we were out. He had just turned 300. So, and just like me, when I hit 500, yeah, I'm going to go griefing everybody I can. I'm 500. Fuck with a 500, and that's what he was. I'm 300. Mess with me, I'm 300 level. So he was griefing everybody. Brand new player. I think she was a level 4, level 7, really under level 10. And she pops up as a red dot, or as a blue dot. We have no idea, male, female, whatever. It's a female character online. Boom! Dead. Chris killed her. Bam, right away. Fuck you, boom. We're killing everybody. We're griefing. You're the posse leader. I'm with you. I got your back. You know, I was level 450 something at the time. So, boom, we're on it. She, boom, kill her. She spawns back in. Boom, dead again. Over 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. Then all of a sudden, this voice comes on the mic. Why are you guys griefing me? Little petite, little girl. Sounded like she was 15, 16 years old. You know, little bit. Why do you guys keep killing me over and over? My heart sank. I'm like, oh, she's a girl. She's a level 7, and we're fucking with her hard. So for me, I stop.
Yeah.
Chris, he doesn't stop.
He doesn't stop.
Boom. Welcome to Red Dead Redemption, girl. Boom. You know what it's like to get grief? Boom. Dead. Over. Boom. Over. How you like me now, girl? Boom. Why are you guys doing this to me? Welcome to Red Dead. If you're here on Red, it's my first day playing. Well, you're gonna have to get used to this. There's fellers out here. We're just outlaws. We're mean men. Boom, you're dead again. Boom, you're dead again. So she runs away.
Oh.
And Chris is like, oh, I got to get ammo and everything. Boom, boom, boom. Let me open up my book. I'm going to order ammo. I'm like, all right, man, while you're in your book, I will run a perimeter because while you're looking at your book, you're not watching. People can just run up and shoot you.
Yeah.
So he's in his book reading. And I'm riding around him, you know, in a big circle. And my circle gets bigger and bigger. And I've still got my eye on him. And I know there's nobody in between me and him in our circle. And I'm making it a little bigger. And we're near a canyon and everything. So I'm like, fuck it. That girl ran up this canyon, you know, and I kind of pulled on my heartstrings a bit, you know. We're briefing this brand new player and everything, you know. And I got a buddy at work that I tried to get to play Red Dead. And he was a level 4, and he came into the game, and he got griefed the same way that we were griefing this girl. And to put a bad taste in his mouth, he doesn't even want to play the game anymore.
Oh.
His girlfriend, wife, plays the game, and I've been trying to play with her, but we haven't hooked up yet.
Yeah.
And but he will not play. And I told him when
Like
Chris.
your dad, you remember? When
Yeah,
you did
exactly.
your
Oh,
dad?
yeah, exactly. And I told him I understand 100%. But when Chris started, and Chris was a level 5, I told him my son-in-law just started playing the game. I'm going to level him through. I will level you through at the same time or at the same effort that you're willing to put into it. You know, I'll do the same thing for you that I'm going to do for my son-in-law. Now's the perfect time. I'm leveling low-level players. Get in on the ground floor. He's like, fuck it, no. He goes, my girlfriend might want it. And I'm like, she's invited too. She didn't join at that time. But anyway, Chris hit 300. I go to work. I'm like, yo, hey, my son-in-law, 6 months in the game, level 300. It took me 3 years I've been playing this game. Okay. I have documented when I hit 300 a year and a half ago. It's taken me a year and a half just to get to the next 400 level.
Wow.
And I've been playing this level 400 character for almost a year. Now, to just get to 500. I'm not going to get to level 1000 for 2 or 3 years at this rate.
Yeah.
You know.
That's when he never did join again. Huh?
No, he won't join. Anyway, actually, I praise Chris.
He got mad.
I praise Chris a lot.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Chris is kicking ass. And not only he plays on his own too.
Okay.
It's not just with me. He plays on his own. He's leveling on his own too. He's a good player.
That's good.
But yeah, I'm actually real impressed. Like I said, if I had to pick one of the best players that I know, he's the
He's the
best
one.
player I know personally. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Why did your dad get so mad at you? What did you do to the game?
I betrayed him, Mom.
Oh, that's what you did.
And not just once. I betrayed him over and over. But I thought because he was my dad that he would forgive me. But
Right,
no.
He did not.
And you know what? Him and I are exactly the same. We are. I see him in myself all the time, even when I'm playing Red Dead.
Okay.
But what happened with Dad and I, it was over Command and Conquer. And
Yeah.
then what it was is it was a 3-way battle or a 4-way battle. Sometimes Shannon would even get in on it. But we had all our computers where we could play online or link them up together there in the house. We had a local area network.
Yeah.
And if all 3 of us were on, we could play this video game where we all 3 play one video game together there in the house. Just us 3. So Dad's on his computer, Tommy's on his, I'm on mine. And this game we would play is 3 superpowers. All 3 of us would battle to take control of the other 2 players. So I would always tell Dad, let's posse up together, me and you, take out Tom. He's like, all right, that sounds like a good idea. So me and Dad would get together, gang up on Tom. Or I would tell Tom, let me and you gang up on Dad, and we'll take him out. And Tommy's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So what would happen is if Tom would start to advance, I'd tell my dad, I'm on the side of the winner, right?
Yeah.
Who's winning? I'm gonna win, no matter who fights between you 2. So my goal is to let them 2 fight it out, weaken their 2 forces. I will have the strong force, and I'll come in and I'll wipe them both out. Okay? Well, most of the time that didn't work out. Either one would try to get to the other, and then, like say, Tom would start to win over Dad. Dad would say, what the hell? How come you're not helping? And I would either have to go in and help Dad, annihilate Tom. So once Tom is out of the picture, my natural attention is to turn on Dad to take over the rest of the game. Well, Dad considers that a betrayal.
What?
I completely understand, but to me, my whole thing was, this is the dynamics of the video game that we're playing. All right, this is what we have to do in the game to win this game.
Yeah.
This is the tactics
Take each other
that
out.
you have to use or to employ, and some of that tactic is, yes, espionage, using your enemies to fight each other, circling back, stabbing your friends in the back to win the game.
Did Tommy get mad when you annihilated?
Most of the time, Tom and I were on the same level. It's a fucking game.
Yeah.
You know, we're family. We're not gonna, this isn't real life. It's a video game. Dad took it a little more personal. Dad took it as a personal betrayal because whenever I told Dad, let's be allies, he took that to heart and he took that literal, and I don't blame him for that because that's just his mentality. That's the way he was.
Yeah.
That's the way he played the game. And for me to turn on him like that was a literal betrayal to him. And you know what?
He was hurt.
Yeah, in retrospect, I completely understand now his point of view. At the time,
You didn't?
I didn't, and I was like, why is he being so petty? It's a video game. Get over it.
Yeah.
But now I understand 100% where he was coming from and all that. And I don't fault him for that. That's just the way he is, and the way he is personally.
Was,
Yeah.
He was a straight player.
Integrity to the highest degree.
Yeah.
You know what I
That
mean?
was your dad.
Honest to a fault type of shit kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I'm gonna letter of the law, walk the line, do not deviate kind of shit. You know what I mean? And that's the way I was raised. But that doesn't mean that's not the way that you have to really play life in general.
That's
you have
true.
to deviate. You can't be the nice guy all the time or you get taken advantage of. Figured that out the hard way many times.
I know.
But I do miss Tommy so much. I miss Dad. I miss Shannon. Just
I
playing
miss
these
him
video
because
games.
I think, I'm doing something at home, and it's usually your dad. And I think, I need to ask Dick something, But I have this picture right there, so I see him every day, the living room. Linda comes over. First thing is, haven't you taken down your pictures and gotten rid of them? No, and I'm not going to, Linda. These are my pictures.
Yeah, well, why
Yeah,
would
she
you?
took all her pictures of her kids down shredded them. I thought that was stupid. Just because they didn't want them off.
You know
I'm
what?
putting them for Stephanie. In that
Some of
book.
those old pictures of me when I was a kid that I hated the
Yeah,
most,
and you got
the
them.
goofy ones with the black glasses and
Yeah.
the 70s style, you know,
Yeah.
those I hated those pictures. But now, those are the pictures I really. Those are the ones I would have shredded at the time,
Yeah.
where I would have scratched out, and some pictures I did do that, and I really do regret that now.
Yeah.
I kind of wish. I wish I had those goofy pictures.
Yeah. I have
You know.
some of those pictures of you. And the clown. What was it? Shannon was
Yeah.
the clown.
No, it was me.
You and I got that on video though, and I got some pictures there that you probably don't even know I have, and I'm getting them. I'm going to put them. And the book I bought, you got spaces about so big for the pictures,
Uh-huh.
and on the side it says your memories, so you can write down who it is, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, got grandma. My Richie grandma in Colorado, I picture her with the kids. I don't know who the kids are. I think they're Uncle Mike's kids. I think about Uncle Mike too, and Gloria and Trinidad. He died, I think.
So if you went back to Trinidad today,
I wouldn't know anybody.
okay.
Not even Aunt Nina, Uncle Raymond. You know what Linda doesn't remember? And I think you all know. And I didn't even think about it. Mom had about 3 or 4 brothers. I didn't remember that. Mom had Uncle Raymond was her brother. Uncle lived right by us. I'm gonna call him John. That's her brother. Him. There was another. There were 4 brothers. There were 4 brothers of Mom, and they all lived in Trinidad. Mom, I think Mom and Aunt Nora were the only girls, so there was 4. There were 6 of them, I guess. And I liked Mom to be around so I could ask her, Mom, what happened to so and so? Do you remember so and so? And there's nobody there to tell me. And I'm the same way with your dad. I was doing something the other day, and I was thinking, damn, I wish Dick was here. He could do this and take care of her. Or Shannon, you know. And I don't want to bother you because I know how you're feeling, and I understand, you know. But
I'm just weak all the time, Mom. I'm sorry.
I know,
It's
but
just-
that's okay. That's
you know,
cancer.
I just can't. And it's not like I don't eat. I do eat. It just I have no desire to eat.
I don't either, and look
I
at me.
have no. I have. To be honest, I really have no passion other than Red Dead Redemption. To be honest,
No, that's
you
you,
know,
and that's okay.
and that's what I figured. To be honest, when Aurora goes to the casino, it's almost a nice thing for me
Yeah.
because she's out doing her thing.
Yeah.
And
you're
she's doing what
doing-
what she likes,
And she has a good time.
and she leaves me alone.
Yeah.
And you know, because she came in here the other day, and I got frustrated. I'm in the middle of fighting somebody, and especially if they're getting the better of me,
Yeah.
you know. And then if she walks in and gets my attention away from it, and then
You're
I
dead.
looked away, and boom, I'm dead again. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, that's another point for them, you know. But yeah, so I got a little irritated with her the other day, and we got into an argument, and I was like, you don't like to be bothered when you're playing your games out there. Even if I text her or
Yeah.
call her, I try not to even do that anymore if she's out there because
Yeah.
it's a distraction to her and it's bothering her, and that's what she says.
Yeah, it
You-
does me too.
You messed
Yeah.
up my flow. You messed up my rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, I was on a good flow or whatever it was, but you fucked it up somehow by calling me, texting me, drawing my attention away from whatever you know. And I understand that. So whenever she's out there, when she's out,
Try not to bother
I
her.
try not to bother her at all, unless I know she's over here at the kid's house, then I'll call just to bug her and just talk to Kylie.
Oh, that little girl's so cute. You know, I'm at the casino and nobody bothers me. Nobody calls me. You don't, because you know where I'm at. And
Well,
Linda
I
don't-
sent you the one text message, and that was it.
Yeah, but that's gosh damn spam calls. And I got a lot of them on delete or whatever, but I don't know who I'm deleting.
No, okay, so here's what I do with spam calls. Hang on, let's see if I have it on this phone. Is you make a contact. Hang on, let me go to my contacts here, phone. Contacts. And you search for unknown. K-N-O-W-N. Oh, how about unknown? Okay. Unknown caller. Boom. Unknown caller.
Are you kidding me?
All these phone numbers,
Yeah.
I add them to that contact list because I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And if you don't leave me a message, or even if you do, and I don't want, if you're a bill
Delete you.
collector or whatever, I won't delete you because I know not to answer that call now.
Yeah.
So I'll put your number in there. So if I ever get a call from that number again, it says unknown caller, and I know, oh, don't answer it. It's an unknown caller. But really, you're a known unknown caller.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I don't have very many people that call me. It's you, Linda. Stephanie don't call me that much. Laura calls me not too much. Benny doesn't either. So who calls me but you? And the calls I get when I'm at the casino, I don't answer them because I know it's not you because I know I'm there.
Right.
And I know who I'm with. And I just don't. And then when I look at them, spam. Oh, Gumby Woods. This. So I come home and I delete them all.
Well, instead of deleting them, now just put them to
I'm going
do a
to.
contact spam, and just put them in that number. I think it's just as easy as once you set up the contact, it's just as easy. Just say assign this number to that contact. It's almost as easy
it's
as
on the recent.
it's almost as easy as deleting them.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to try that with mine. I got a couple there. I think that says spam and put them on there. Yeah. Richard, I'm going to go home, get me some stew to eat, and my show's coming on pretty soon. I'm going to go watch The Magnificent Seven, even though I could word everything they say.
I'll probably jump online and might even do another live video tonight too. So after your videos, pull up your phone and see if I'm live on YouTube.
Okay. That sounds good. I got to go home and charge it too.
If you text me a comment on my thing,
Yeah.
be sure to put it's mom. Just end it with mom,
Okay.
and then that way, because it reads it to me, I can't see who's texting me.
Oh, all right.
Oh, hang on, Mom. Let me stop this video. Say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, goodbye.
Hang on. Let's see
everybody.
how long we went. 3 hours and 46 minutes of rambling Norma.
Tiny. I get carried away.
We'll see if anybody ever makes it to the end of this video. Thanks for watching.